Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode 73 of C4SVillains. I am your host JB and I am here with the Council of Villains, Vash and Steve, and we are here to cover everything that happened in the world of Marvel and DC during San Diego Comic-Con 2022. Guys, Steve, Vash, thank you so much for joining me on this episode.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here again. It is time to talk about the greatness of San Diego Comic-Con, bro. That shit was fire as the information was coming out.
Look,
I couldn't wait.
As we say, in Feige we trust, in the man himself. And my man got a vision. But I got some words to say because I feel like I got to in production. Stop overworking us, motherfucker. Like, yo, I get it. We got to pay bills out here. But shit, I got shit to say. I can't wait for us to get there because I'm going to give my perspective of a guy that works in the industry. But I got a couple of things to say. But other than that, it's good to be here. I'm gonna be here on a full show today. I was just so out of it last week. My apologies, but you know what? Life happens. Sometimes you just don't know when you got the burnout. Shit happens.
Yeah, but we got a lot of great stuff to talk about on this episode, guys. Comic-Con brought us a lot of great shit. Marvel specifically brought us a lot of great shit at Comic-Con. Now, there's a lot of other stuff outside of Marvel and DC, but I wanted to focus on those core two things because there's just so much to unpack there. If you want a full recap of everything that happened at Comic-Con, check the Twitter, check carefulforspoilers.com. I did a full breakdown of the MCU Phase 5 timeline in order, who's starring in it, release date, all of that is on the website right now. But this is the breakdown where we're going to get all of our different thoughts on all of these incredible topics that came out during Comic-Con. So let's get into it. Let's start off with some of the comics that were released. We'll start off a little bit light, but a comic that I'm really interested in reading is Riddler Year One. It's going to be a 6-issue series. Issue 1 drops on October 25th of this year, and it was written by Paul Dano, and it was illustrated by Steven Subic, and I cannot wait for this. We talked about this last week. There is no one that knows this version of the Riddler better than Paul Dano, so it makes sense for him to be the one penning the script for this short story, and I'm glad that it's only 6 issues too. Get in, get out. It's a prequel. We know where it goes. So very excited about this. So Steve, starting with you, what is your excitement level? I know we kind of talked about it again last week, but what's your excitement level for Riddler Year One?
I'm going to start a new ranking system. Instead of stars, I'm going to give it flames. So I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 flames. Flame emojis. You know what I'm saying? 4 out of 5 flames. Just because of the fact that I grew up on the only Riddler that I knew was the Jim Carrey Riddler, and to find out that there were all these different better versions than that version of Jim Carrey's Riddler, and this last iteration was just phenomenal. I played the different Batman games, and then of course the Telltale series version of the Batman game gave us, to me, one of the better Riddlers that I had ever known. And then I turned around and I read The War of Jokes and Riddles, and I found out the 2 most feared villains in Gotham were actually the Joker and the Riddler, and they went to war. And I was like, really, the Riddler is really that level? So I felt like Jim Carrey didn't get that Riddler doesn't do the full justice of what we got. And then we get this version inside of this Batman, and it was just like seeing everything that we saw and how meticulously planned he was and everything like that. Seeing all of that, and Also, Gotham. I completely forgot about Gotham, the TV series. That really was dope too. But seeing him meticulously plan all of these things and everything like that, it just was like I wanted more. And I'm super glad, which I think that DC does a great job of that, of not killing the villain. I love the fact that they don't do that, so that way you can get more of them later on down the line if they want to bring them back. So I'm excited for this prequel to see, because like we kind of just jump straight in this Batman movie. We kind of just jump straight in with Batman on the scene trying to solve a crime that the Riddler committed, and we kind of go from there. Where it's like, okay, we can get a prequel of how it all started, and then the final chapter could actually just end with him smacking the mayor in the back of the head with the fucking trophy or whatever. And I think that would be really dope.
I fuck with that ending cliffhanger. That's a nice one.
So I'm excited to see it. I'm glad that we're getting this, and I'm glad we're getting more of other villains outside of the Joker. Most of the time with Batman, it's Batman Joker, and I get it. That's his greatest foe, but there's so many other villains in that rogue gallery. So I'm excited to see this, and then seeing it from, like James said, the from the view of the actor who knows so much about this character, it's probably going to be really, really sick.
Yeah, man. Like, I love what you said about, like, how much of a menace the Riddler actually is. This is one of the only people smarter than the greatest detective on the planet in Batman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what makes the Riddler the Riddler. So it's just like, I love the interpretation that Paul Dano gave us in The Batman, and I'm very excited for this series. Vash, what about you? What are your thoughts on Riddler Year One? And are you excited for it to be dropping in October?
October makes sense, is where people could dress up. Halloween theme. The movie The Batman was based on Halloween, the week of Halloween, or the month of October it was. So it just makes sense a year later, or months later, they're gonna drop a comic book. But this is one thing I give props to DC. Not saying that Marvel thinks small, they think big, but they think big in only the film aspect. They forget that they also make comic books, produce, and also have animated shows throughout the years. Mm-hmm. But they're starting to realize the animated route. So great. I can't wait for us to talk about What If and the other stuff they're going to be coming. But it's weird enough that how in the last 10 years of MCU succeeding, that the Marvel comics have been drawing the characters of Iron Man and everything more closer to the MCU actors that look like them, which I get it, because people could see them, visualize them, cool. But then if you're gonna draw them like that, why are we not making content to fill in the gaps of said movies? So this is my transition to how I'm very happy that DC is doing this, and they have done this before for other properties, for other games, like the next one we're going to talk about. So I love how DC do not shy away on their avenues of animated comic books and their movie and the TV show content. They think big in that sense. Are they good at it? I never said they're good, but they know how to make content and market themselves. So I'm damn excited for this Riddler, because just like Steve said and James agreed on as well, that Riddler is a fucking menace. And for anybody that still say that Hal is the greatest detective, do not figure out his riddle. I'm like, have you ever really tried to figure out a riddle? No matter how smart you are, a riddle takes a couple minutes, a long time to think about. And when it's by a criminal type of maniac, those riddles better be damn good, because that's why he's a criminal and always gets fucking escaping. So he knows what he's damn doing. And if the Batman cannot catch, and he also has a rule of not killing, what the hell do you expect? And also, this is a story supposed to entertain us. So at the same time, the writer's supposed to write himself by not trying to figure himself out at the same time. So that's the fun of it, guys. So don't overthink too much at the end of the day. So that was my quick rant about Marvel and DC whole type of marketing scheme, if that made any sense.
You always get those people that's like, oh, those riddles were easy. I figured that out halfway through the movie. I'm like, you can't figure out a Rubik's Cube. You lying. You liar. You can't. No.
I have never figured out a Rubik's Cube in my life, and I would love to lie and say yes, but I've never figured one. I've done maybe out of the 1, 2, 3. That's like 4, right? There's 4 sides, right? Or there's 6 sides?
6.
All right, 6 sides. I've only figured out 3 or 4 max. I never have done 5 or 6. No, I'm sorry. I ain't smart like that. I'm smart in other aspects of the world, but riddles and puzzles, those ain't
It's
my
funny
shit.
you say that. I literally just started a new one right
I
here,
had
right now.
Wait,
never,
but hold up. You just said new one. Have you completed one?
No.
I had,
Okay.
I've gotten pretty far, but I started a new one because I wanted to start fresh.
All
I
right, cool.
never, I never completed one until I saw Pursuit of Happiness, and he's sitting there telling you how to figure it out. And I never knew the middle square. This is that color side until I watched The Pursuit of Happiness. And then once I did that, I was like, oh, and I started to figure it out. And I actually completed one. And then as soon as I completed it, my daughter was like, and I was like, why? Why did you just do that? So, but yeah, so I've only completed one and I've never gone back to do it again. I think that I can still do it. But like
Like
once you
there's a
figure,
pattern to it. I thought that there were multiple different ways to solve it, and then I realized
Mhm,
no, there's actually like steps to it. So like the first thing you have to do is start with the white cross, and then you
mhm,
have to figure out like the sides and match them up, and like
yeah,
it's a process.
it's,
But overall, my goal in life now is to solve one Rubik's Cube in my life so I can impress my kids, but also get mad at them and like, did you just change it when I just feel an accomplishment in my life?
That's
That's
the
pain.
first thing. They're gonna high five you and they're gonna enjoy it for like all of 12 to 15 seconds. And then they're gonna be kids and they're gonna scramble it back up. It's not
That's life. But overall,
gonna
I am excited for the regular comic book. Also, it's pretty dope to also see an actor also writing. Like, I understand where James is coming from, that he is a person that did the role, but it's not very common to see the
Right.
actor play the character, but also writing the series of said character that he just played. It's very rare for that to happen. So that's another props that I don't want to give to the actor because it's very rare for that to be the case. And I'm very proud to see that it shows that he has the skills to write it, or it shows that he knows what he's doing. So that's a props for it all on its own as well.
Speaking of that, even though I know this isn't technically DC Marvel, Berserker, Keanu Reeves wrote that and then
Yeah.
now it's getting picked up for a Netflix adaptation. Yeah. So
Yeah, they're
speaking
doing an
of that,
anime. He's doing a live action version in which he's going to star as Berserker.
yeah. And
It's so much fun.
it's gonna be sick. Yeah, but yeah, when you said that, it made me think of that. So, we'll go ahead.
Yeah, but Steve, you brought up Joker, right? You brought up the fact that hey, it's nice to get like a new Riddler story and not so much the Joker all the time. Well, we're
Mhm.
getting a new Joker comic. No,
Of course.
they've pretty much been really solid. If you haven't read Three Jokers, read it. Three Jokers is fucking fire. The art's amazing. The story's incredible, and it's amazing how much you can dive into the psychosis of the Joker. So it's a really good read. Check that out. But there is a new series coming out. It is called The Joker: The Man Who Stopped Laughing. That's going to be dropping on October 4th. And I'm very, very excited for this as well. Like I just mentioned, I love the Joker. I love how crazy and unpredictable he is. Three Jokers again, really, really good series. But Steve, what do you think about this new Joker series? Are you excited about it? Are you familiar with the writer Matthew Rosenberg? Any of his work, anything like that? Are you excited?
So I'm not familiar with anybody with the writer or anything like that. I am excited though because of the title name, the the guy who stopped laughing. So that leads you to believe that maybe the Joker goes good, possibly for a little while, which I really, really enjoyed the White Knight. And how they
Really good.
portrayed him and that. Yeah. So I'm wondering if we're gonna get something like that or stop laughing. Does that mean he dies? It's so much up in the air to with that title name, and you don't know what you're gonna get. So I'm intrigued to see that. And there's so many different ways that people write the Joker. You just never know what you're gonna get. Even in the audio Batman series on HBO Max, that Joker was freaking sick. He was like, he was crazy in that audio thing. And it was just like, man, just these different ways that they keep coming out with ways to portray one character. And it's like, man, there's so many different variants in the sense of this character. And I'm interested to see why he stopped laughing. Like, what's going on with that. Did they cure him? Did he die? What happened? I mean, I'm interested to see that. That title leaves so much, for you to just imagine, play with your imagination and things like that.
Yeah, I tried to look up some like plot details, but there's like nothing right now, which is even more exciting for everything he just mentioned. But Vash, what about you? Like, what is your thoughts on this new Joker comic?
Look, I'll be honest, and I'm so sorry to say, my DC Comics read over the last couple of 10 years are very slim. I've read more Marvel stuff, but I definitely need to check out more of this Joker comics. Like, I know it's the DC Metal, the Laughing Batman. I forgot the name of that version. Like,
Yeah,
I
the
haven't
Batman
read
who
the good.
laughs.
Yeah, that one. Like, I haven't read a lot of them, and I keep hearing James has told me, Sam has told me, Steve, and many other people that have read the run has told me good things about those runs and other runs around the Joker. But I'm happy they're finding other iterations of Joker's story, and it shows that we still have creative people to change up the idea of what you could do with Joker and Batman and other characters. Because Joker has been out less than 100 years, but luckily we still have a lot of creators still coming up with new ideas to have to change up the idea, the twist, the backs of the character, the looks, and everything. So overall, am I happy for it? Hell yes. Am I gonna read it when it comes out? That's hard to say, but I will hope to. I will hope to be a buy one, and and just read it on my commute. Overall, I'm excited to see what they come up with and with this new intake of what the Joker could be.
Yeah, and Spicy, I'm extremely excited for Dark Crisis. Honestly, like
Mhm.
like I've been enjoying like the lead up to this. Like I read a lot more DC than I do Marvel. I love like certain Marvel titles, but I read way more DC. But I'm very excited for Dark Crisis. Like there's a lot going on in DC right now. Like there's also like Beyond Flashpoint that's actually been pretty good. Like I was a
Mm.
little like reserved about starting it because Flashpoint is like peak for me, but like it's actually really good. So I highly recommend checking out both. Like it's dope.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But next comic that's coming out, Batman Gotham Knights Gilded Knight. Now this is going to be a 6-issue limited series also coming out on October 25th and is going to be a prequel to the Gotham Knights game. So I have no hype for this Gotham Knights game at all. This prequel comic could be interesting because I mean this does it's supposed to I guess lead to where Batman dies and where the game picks up. So that could be interesting. The little details that I did see is that there's some kind of virus spreading through Gotham City and they're investigating it and shit happens, right? So I'm interested, but because it's like a prequel to Gotham Knights and I don't really know how much I care about it, I don't know. But what's up, Vash?
I was gonna say, like, I feel bad for people that live in Gotham. Rent better be low ourselves. Rent better not be with all the crime that we have there. Joker, Scarecrow. Like when James just said a virus, oh shit. And the first thing I thought was like, I wonder if rent is low over there in Gotham just because of how much shit is
Nah.
going down. And
It's New
two,
York.
the rumor and no confirmation with Batman Gotham Knights being connected to the other Arkham games and going on with those past 3 games, a lot of people assume that this is connected to the Court of Owls of why people have known that Court of Owls, Batman disappears because he gets captured by the Court of Owls. I'm not gonna speak anymore. I'm gonna just speak with that vague type of synopsis since those are literally the first 20 pages of that run. So if this being the case, I'm excited, or I might be the only one that's actually intrigued of this run. It's because one, my boy Nightwing, we got our boy Red Hood, and we got our boy Damien and Batgirl in a whole 6-issue run, most likely, since this is a prequel of their story and of their game. So most likely it will include all 4 of them, or maybe with those 6 issues will include one of them in each 4, and then the last 2 will include all 4 of them, and that's going to lead up to the game, most likely. But it depending on where it's going to go, I'm pretty intrigued. And with Batman, I love how they try to market to the audience, knowing like, yo, we know Bam is gonna probably pop out at the last type of hour of the game, be like, yo, bitches, I'm back. I'm like, we knew you wasn't dead. But overall, I'm excited for this comic issue. Again, like I said it in the beginning, DC knows what they're doing with their different avenues of marketing, and they know how to promote and add side stories to what they already have. So I'm very happy for them to continue doing this, because at first nobody really cared about the game, but the more the game has pushed and said that they want to, try to make it look better, maybe this comic run could help, probably get the hype up too as well. So that's also a possibility as well.
I love your optimism, Vash. I really do.
Thank you. I think that's the only thing that I think that's something that we have known, that I'm literally the optimistic. No matter how things could look in dire, I'll be like, just gotta hope.
When does that game come out?
It's been pushed. I do not recall.
Fuck knows.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look while you guys talk.
They're gonna come out with the comic, and there's gonna be no game, so it's just gonna be a prequel to no game. I mean, depending on when the game comes out.
When does the comic book run come out?
October 25th is.
Makes sense. So, currently the release date is October 25th, 2022.
Okay,
so
same day as.
It's gonna be a one shot.
No, it's supposed to come out not weekly. It might even be monthly.
Yeah, because it's a 6-issue run, but the first issue comes out on the 25th of October, and the current release date of the game is October 25th of this year.
That works.
The current release.
So it makes sense. If they're going to drop a comic and also you get a game, that's pretty smart. If they sell the comic with the game, that's also good marketing. First issue.
They won't.
Yes and no, because like that comic is going to end, and then you're going to want the second issue, and then you
go to the comic book store, or maybe you sell the comics to GameStop, so maybe it's easier to get people. Oh, I'm here for the game. Oh, what is this? Oh, it's connected to the prequel of the game. Maybe, GameStop, best back of a comic book right there. I'm just throwing ideas for DC. If you guys want to hire like a marketing person, DC Comics, I'm right here.
But
if they do have like a deluxe edition or whatever it is, you're right. It may come with a digital version of the #1. They've done that before.
Maybe they do a DLC of the comic book run that they're releasing, the prequel, which would be interesting.
Be dope.
Because I'm just trying to figure out, like, I'm going to be frustrated if I read the first chapter and then I start playing the game and it's going to spoil the ending of chapter 6 of the prequel. That would kind of be frustrating.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But depending on how the releases go out, I would say this is about a 3 out of 5, because I don't know if I wanted to necessarily play it because of the trailers and the gameplay doesn't look wonderful. But I am excited to play with Nightwing, and I really fell in love with Nightwing after watching Young Justice. And then I read a comic book run. I read like the first chapter. I didn't get to read other issues because there weren't any other issues at the library. But I was like really intrigued by Nightwing, and I really want to know a lot more about Nightwing and his character. I know a lot of people talk about how, like, he's a ladies man and stuff like that. So I'm like I'm interested. Yeah. So I want to know a little bit more about Nightwing. So I'm actually intrigued on that perspective. Like, I would just want to play with Nightwing. I'm not a huge Red Hood fan like everybody else and stuff like that, but I am a Nightwing fan. So that's my take on it.
Yeah. So, I'll give it a chance. Like, I'll definitely, buy the first issue. I might buy the whole thing. Like, whenever there's, like, limited runs, like, I'll try to collect it, Like, if it's good, I'll definitely try to collect it. But this next one, I am very, very excited for. This is Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt. This is a 5-issue limited series. It's going to start debuting in November. No official release date as of yet, but this is going to serve as an origin story for Kraven the Hunter. So this could be really interesting to give Kraven maybe not necessarily a new origin, but like a reimagining to like maybe how he got his powers, you know, something like that. I think it would be really, really interesting. The writers on this, they also wrote a different Spider-Man short run. I can't remember the exact name right now, but that one is pretty popular as well. So I'm very excited for this. I know the writers going to do a really good job. So Steve, starting with you, what's your excitement level for Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt?
Well, I'm excited about this only because I'm not excited about the Sony product that we're probably going to get. I was excited about Aaron Taylor Johnson playing Craven. I was like hyped for that. But then after we got Morbius, now my hype level for Craven the Hunter has dropped significantly. But if we can get a comic book run, one thing we know that DC is going to do, they're going to give us good comics and they're going to give us good uh, anime products. Those are two things that we for sure, well, for the most part, we know that they're going to give us that. And so I'm excited for that just because of my bad. I said DC. Craven the Hunter is also is Marvel. I'm tripping. But Craven the Hunter, or whatever, like one thing that I do know that not as far as like anime series, whatever, but I did like him in the Spider-Man anime series. My bad.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, I definitely was tweaking when I said DC anime.
You good, bro?
But yeah, like yeah, I'm enjoying Craven. I'm excited for this just because of the fact that Sony definitely dropped the ball on Morbius. So I lost my excitement for that movie, and now I'm like, okay, we're gonna get Craven the Hunter in a comic, and seeing different Spider-Man villains is something that I'm intrigued by. Actually, I got it on my queue. Vash said last week that Tombstone was the villain on that Spider-Man series. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're getting different Spider-Man villains, which I think Spider-Man has a really, really good rogue gallery that stands next to Batman. And that's the reason why I was saying DC, because I don't know why I was into that rogue gallery of them. And we had just talked about Batman for 3 straight segments. But yeah, so like that's the main reason why I'm excited for it, just because I'm losing excitement and thunder that I had for the Craven Hunter movie on Sony.
Yeah. And I mean the script details don't help, right? Like he's going to be like an animal lover, and I'm like, dude, Craven the hunter.
He
Like,
hunts animals. He
big
doesn't
game
love them.
hunter. He's hunted literally everything there is to hunt. And the next thing is man, and that's Spider-Man. That's his next target. Like that's what he does. Like how can he be an animal lover? It's just like Sherwin's saying, it's ridiculous like what they're doing with these Spider-Man villains, like trying to turn them all into like anti-heroes, which some of them are in the comics, right? Like Morbius isn't a villain, he's an anti-hero. Same thing with like Venom. Like you get to a point where you get to like Lethal Protector, he's an anti-hero, right? Like he's one of the heroes, right? But it's just like what they're trying to do with Kraven's not one of them, dude. Like I'm sorry, like this is not the one that you need a redemption story for. Like I'm sorry, this is not the guy.
It's because they want that. They're like, oh, okay, we still have the rights to Spider-Man, so let's try to give a fan loved thing. And it's like you can give us a villain origin story without making them the beloved hero. You can make them misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe people can care for them because they're misunderstood, but trying to make them fall in love with a character and making them seem like they're not so bad, the hero, that's weird. Like, I feel like watch the Joker and take notes from that. Like literally, you watched him and you're like, yeah, he is this, but he's not necessarily good. You know that. Yeah. And I feel like they could do that. They could take notes with that and do this for any kind of Sony products. You've watched enough Batman films, I would think, to try your own thing. But
yeah, Sony dude, same thing with like look at Homelander, right? Like there is a small part of Homelander where it's like you empathize with the fact that he didn't have a childhood. He was literally raised to be a product, a weapon, right? Mm-hmm. But he is a piece of shit. He is the biggest piece of shit on the planet, bro. So it's like you can make me care about elements, and then you switch it up. It's like, oh yeah, never mind. He's a piece of shit. That's what you're supposed to do. Exactly. And even with Kraven, that's what they did with Spider-Man, the animated series. He was still the big game hunter, but there was elements of it, like he had a love interest and him trying to like protect her while she tries to find a cure for him so that she can get back to her love. Like it's a really good story, the duality that they, but Sony's not capable. They don't hire capable writers that can write a good story. But Vash, what about you? What are your thoughts on this?
Like I said last week, honestly, I'm not saying happy or thrilled, more intrigued of what the reimagining of Curry the Hunter is. And like James just said, he's not a fucking goddamn animal lover. He's a hunter. It literally says
a veterinarian.
It's literally in his name, his title. I am the hunter, Kraven. I'm like, oh shit, cool. That's how, like, any issue or cartoon of Spider-Man, that's how he introduced himself. He don't say, welcome, Spider-Man. Want to be friends? It's a spider and a human.
Steve, they're gonna turn him into the deep.
Oh my God! Please don't do that.
They're gonna turn Kraven into the deep. He's just gonna really, really love animals.
He's gonna love animals too much.
But sorry, Vash. Continue.
I get what you're saying. I think I get it, but still, overall, it's like I'm happy with Marvel Comics for what they do this route. Is it going to connect to the MCU? Most likely not. Is it going to connect to a multiverse? Most likely not. Is it just a random, regular run they're going to do? Most likely. Am I thrilled about it? No. Am I intrigued about it? Yes. At the end of the day, let's see what happens with this, and will this be successful? And maybe will Sony be like, yo, yeah, there's something interesting over there on Marvel. Can we take that and make that some movie instead? Yes, Sony. Yeah, should. Do not make some random guy and being in love with animals. The fucking hunter. That's what he is.
Sony is wrong for this because it's like all of these other villains have kind of been taken already. And then it's like Spider-Man 4 or whatever, when it comes out, they have to find another villain because you just decided to destroy Morbius and destroy Kraven. And it's like, well, I can't put him in the movie. So they have to find another villain. It's just like, and plus, they're doing them dirty right now.
Last thing to add from my end, let villains be villains. Sometimes they just believe what they're doing is good. On their eyes, in their mind, what they believe is they're doing correct. My boy Thanos, he thought he was right. He thought he was going to just enslave half the planet and take them out. Boom. After that, he went back to a planet and be a farmer. All right. He felt like what he did was good from his heart. He saw his planet wither and whisper to the ground. Literally, people didn't listen to him. He said, like, yo, I think there's a solution. He said, nah, cool. Literally what he said in the post-credit of, I think, Age of Ultron. I got to do the shit on my own. Or I got to do it myself.
I'll do it myself.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, at the end of the day, some villains are just a piece of shit. Same thing like humans. Some humans are a piece of shit. Do we know why? No. It's just ingrained in their DNA. Like our boy Kendrick Lamar. In their DNA is there.
And
Can't do shit.
You can have the duality though, because what Thanos was doing was wrong, but he was doing it for the right reasons. Like, I will say this until my dying day. Thanos was right. You can't you cannot double and triple resources because people will use more resources. There was only one way, and he did it in a fair way. There was no one was picked. There was no segregation. It was simple, split down the middle, fair. And if you got dusted, it was unfortunate. But the universe would be able to live on for tens, hundreds of millions of years more because there's less beings using up the resources. He was right. It may be fucked up on, like, a human scale.
From Hawkeye's perspective, because he lost everybody, that wasn't fair to him. He was like, that's not half.
Thanos lost all of his adopted children were dead. The only one left is Nebula, and she hates him. Mm-hmm. He lost everything too. He lost all of his people too.
He killed Gamora for it.
Yeah,
opportunities. It's not fair.
He sacrificed Gamora. There's a difference.
Is that the word? That's the word we're using.
Yeah. But overall, even Rob brought it up. It's like, how's Madam Web gonna how is she gonna contribute?
Don't even
Like,
get
how
me started,
she
dude.
like
She sits in a
our group
chair.
chat. Our group chat literally, why? What the fuck? Why is that happening? What is this? I live in New York. I know a few people that are working on that set that they came to film here, like a couple of scenes. I've hit them up to ask them what the hell they're doing. Some of my coworkers are in the group department, and they be like, "Yo, where's the final orders? We don't know why they're making this film." I'm not gonna say who, but that's what my peeps have told me. No, but like, of course, money, but like, they don't have a game plan from what it shows. It's like, yo, okay, Madam Web, Carry the Hunt. Like,
I mean, so they think they do because Madam Web is technically the key to a multiverse.
Yes, true.
DC already has a multiverse. The MCU already has a multiverse. Sony doesn't have one. So Madam
Why
Web,
do they need one?
Because they're trying to compete with everyone else in the superhero game. That's the game. It's the business. So Madam Web literally gives them a cosmic being that can peek into any part of the multiverse and pull a spider person out. That's literally why she's there. Now, why is she? See, that's the thing. There are versions of Madam Web that's younger, that's more like active, but it's like they're short runs, right? And it's just like she's still a cosmic being, and it's just like also like Dakota Johnson is a good actress, but Madam Web, really? And I'm like, I'm just looking at the cast, and I'm like, I have no idea what this movie is, but it's Sony's girl power movie. I'll say
if Madam Web was played by Anya Taylor-Joy, maybe I'll be more excited.
I mean, not even then, because it doesn't matter who you cast if the script's shit, that it doesn't work. Andrew Garfield is arguably the best Spider-Man. He didn't make it past 2 movies because the script is shit. Like, there's only so much you can do. You know what I mean? But we've rambled on about that long enough. Let's keep it moving here. Let's move into some live action DC news. So at SDCC, we got our first look at the second trailer for Black Adam. We also learned that Amanda Waller is going to make a return in this. And the more and more that I see from Black Adam, the more and more that I get excited. But at the same time, I'm terrified because, like, I can't trust DC. They make one amazing movie, and then they make a piece of shit. And then they make an amazing movie, and then they make a piece of shit. And then I don't know where it's going to fall, right? So Black Adam could be awesome. The cast is great. There's literally no one else that could be Black Adam except for Dwayne Johnson. You know, I love Aldous Hodge as Hawkman, Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. It looks like it's going to be really, really cool. I love that we're diving into his Egyptian heritage, him going from being a slave to a god, and his birth into becoming a god was born out of hatred because of them killing his son, and then the world needing a hero and him struggling with, can I be this thing when the world took my son away from me? So there are very interesting things that we could get in Black Adam, but again, WB has failed me before. I thought Wonder Woman 1984 was going to be one of the greatest DC movies ever made. It's probably one of the worst. It's probably top 3 worst DC movies ever made.
Do you think it sits down there with Jonah Hex, Catwoman, and those other DC movies in the tier list?
Jonah Hex is hard.
Yeah. Top 5 then. Top 5.
Well, I was like, Jonah Hex is tough.
Yeah, Jonah Hex is real bad. But but tough. I'm excited for Black Adam, but I'm tempering my expectations. It's going to be dropping on October 21st of this year. Can't wait. We're so close. So very close. So Vash, starting with you. Yeah, dude. Starting with you. What is your excitement level for Black Adam after seeing the Comic-Con trailer?
All right, look, I'm gonna be straight up. I love The Rock. If you ask me, the 2 people that have inspired me in my life is The Rock and John Cena. I grew up with wrestling, Raw, SmackDown, WWE. I grew up with those type of story, and The Rock, his character, his charisma is the reason the way I am today. And seeing him being cast as Black Adam for almost 10 years, finally, we're getting the movie. Because one, Black Adam, played by The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, is a busy ass man. He has projects left and right. He has his own production company, which $7 production. He's a busy ass man. When it comes to this movie, it's been in the works. He has hype up. He knows how to market himself. He knows how to promo himself. I am excited, but also, like James, hesitated. Not hesitating in a bad way, because the people that are running this is DC/Warner Brothers. DC/Warner Brothers knows how to kind of meddle in. Not like Marvel, who like to be strict, but DC and Warner Brothers like to hover. And which is a good or bad thing depending on the director and depending on who you people work with. But The Rock is a passion person. He likes to make the current projects he has done over the years. He likes to make sure that if he's part of it, it comes out good. In the past 5 years or so, I don't think he has made a bad content. So what he's doing right now, I'm excited for. The cast, the trailer for this current trailer, I just saw it twice while we've been live. It has me excited. The visual effects looks awesome. Props to the production side, because the visual effects and the special effects looks amazing so far from the trailer on itself. The actors, I love the one line that Dr. Fate said, that you could be the destroyer of our world or you could be the savior. And I love that, because you know why? It speaks to his fucking goddamn character, and it makes me happy, because Black Adam is not a hero or villain. He's an anti-hero. He has joined the Justice League of America. He has joined the Justice League. I mean, well, not just. He has also joined that's the Suicide Squad. The other organization on the bad side, I forgot. Like, with Lex Luthor and
Legion of Doom.
Injustice or
thank you.
Legion, yeah.
Legion
Yeah, both on both teams. So I love that line for Dr. Fate, and for them to put on the trailer, it made me excited. And the way it was delivered or cut or whatever the case may be, it worked for him and his character. So overall, I'm excited. I did not know it was going to be in October until James said it, and also on the notes. So overall, October stack. I'm happy it did not get delayed or whatever the case may be. I am going to be so thrilled for us to review that film, because I think it's one thing I'm most excited for this year. I think when we did it in the beginning of the year, I think it was like my top 5. But overall, Black Adam, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and with those actors, and also, but Viola Davis is starting to become our kind of like our Stan Lee in the DCU films. And I like that, because it's connecting it to our films and the content of Peacemaker and everything going on. And she's perfect as Amanda Waller. I just want to also give that as well, because for you to nail Amanda Waller, the gruesome, the hard, the hatred, but also you're doing it for the right reasons, because you're trying to serve your country and also serve the people of not just your country, of the U.S. government, but also the world. That is hard to convince to an audience on TV live action, because in the cartoons, animated side, and comics, is done well. Is done very, very brilliant for the audience to feel her character. But to get it done on a live action with Arrow was not bad. I forgot the actress name. It wasn't great. It wasn't like perfect.
With all due respect.
Yeah, of course. That's why I say it's okay. They did with what they did, or with what they had, or the actress that they found, whatever the case may be. No shade to the person, but it was okay.
Yeah,
and apologies. Yeah, but Viola Davis, she is an Academy Award, right, James? I don't want to be wrong. She is an Academy Award winner.
I know she's a nominee for sure.
Yeah, nominee. I just don't want to be wrong to say that. All right, but until James just correct me or not, she's a nominee. She's a fantastic actor. So I just want to also to shout that out, that she is Amanda Waller. I think James tweeted out a couple of days ago or something like that during the weekend, but she is Amanda Waller for that reason. She's fantastic. I am happy to see her, and I can't wait to see how the film does. Steve, to you.
Real quick, Steve, I think she is the best version of Amanda Waller, period. Like, she is very terrifying in the comics. The things that she does are really, really fucked up. but it's just like the gravitas and the aggression and just like terrifying nature of Viola Davis. It's just perfection. Like she
Agree.
is the definitive version of Amanda Waller to me. But Steve, what about you? What are your thoughts on Black Adam on the new trailer?
Yeah, so I'm interested to see it. I'm not super hyped for anything DC at this point. That's just I've been let down too much by DC, which is just something that's just it's not something that you just like want to say, oh yeah, DC always lets you down because you look forward to DC products. And so I'm just like, okay, whatever. But The Rock has given us a lot of things to look forward to. The Rock has not, to me, done like terrible, terrible movies. I think he's done movies that have been meh or whatever, and then there's super hype movies that I'm hyped for. And then, I mean, you got Scorpion King, but for the most part, they're not like, man, I will never, ever, ever watch that again. I'll even watch Scorpion King again just to like talk about it. But like for Black Adam, it's like JB said, he's somebody that you thought that's like perfect casting for it. I thought honestly and truthfully, I saw some rumors about The Rock being Lobo as a villain, and I thought that was going to be crazy. But I have no problem with him playing Black Adam. Viola Davis being in the movie as well is going to be something cool to play off of. Much like Vash says, she is a staple in the DC. I wouldn't say Stan Lee. I would say more so of their version of a Nick Fury or something like that. I think that would be interesting if they could have her pop up in all the different DC movies, and you can build your universe through that. That would be interesting if they did that. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, her trying to recruit people for the Suicide Squad through like, just at the end of the movies, just if there's a villain in that movie, then boom, you recruit. And that way, and that can be your Nick Fury-esque type way of tying everything in. So I wouldn't be mad at that. And I'm pretty sure, like, as when you finally have something that's that good, you have to hold on to it. And I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
this is something where DC drops the ball at. It's like you have dropped the ball with Henry Cavill in a sense. He still wants to do it. I see no reason to go away from that. Keanu Reeves wants to be freaking Constantine still. He's to this day he's talked about it, and for some reason you don't sign Keanu Reeves to another movie. It makes no sense to me. So for me, I'm just hoping that this Black Adam movie is not a one shot. It's not like a one time thing. If it's good or something like that, it's not just a one
I
time thing.
agree.
I'm hoping that we get more of it. And like we've seen Shazam 2 is coming out, which we'll probably talk about later. And then you get Black Adam, it's like, okay, how are we gonna find a way to tie this together? Build something. Don't just keep giving us random movies. So that's the reason why I'm not super excited for it. I guess I'll do my flame rating for stuff that I have seen, not just for stuff that I'm expecting. But yeah, I feel like yeah, for this I'm just kind of like, man, it is what it is. If it comes out and it's really good, that's something that's rewarding. And if it's not, then no love, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, like I mean, we'll see, man. Like you, Steve. Like I'm just tempering my expectations. I've been let down too much. But I mean, I know Dwayne's gonna be awesome. I know there's gonna be elements of the film that I really like. So we'll see where it goes. Moving on to the next one, Shazam: Fury of the Gods. I am not. I'll keep it brief. Like I'm not a Billy Batson fan. I'm not a Shazam fan at all. I have
Mm-hmm.
nothing against the character. It's just nothing about Shazam resonates with me. It never has. So like, there's no part of me that's looking forward to this movie. Um, I did watch the first movie. I thought it was fine. I'll probably never watch it again. There's nothing in it that made me like, oh shit, I need to watch Shazam again. Besides Megan Good, but there's other movies for that. But I don't really care that much. I thought the trailer was all right. I know that the humor is supposed to be because I mean they're all teenagers. I
Mm-hmm.
can't I can't relate to teenagers, so it's just like there's nothing there for me. I'll see it when it hits HBO Max after 45 days. Steve, kicking it to you first. What's
So
your excitement level for Fury of the Gods?
I'm not super excited about it. And I actually talked about this earlier this week. I didn't even realized that I never finished. I watched Shazam at home and I fell asleep on it and I just never completed it. So I watched probably the first 50, 55 minutes of the movie and I fell asleep on it. I never got back to it. So I was
Mm.
talking to them. I was like, oh, yeah, Megan Good's going to be in this one. They were like, she was in the first one. And I was like, oh, my bad. So yeah, I've never actually finished this movie. And like you said, I'm not a huge Shazam fan. The one episode of Young Justice that I really loved with that was when they did the magic and they separated the kids from the humans.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you remember that episode, and then Billy Batson could switch back and forth from his Shazam form to Billy Batson, and that was how he was communicating to the. That was the only time I felt like, oh, this is really actually really cool that he does. But him transforming to an adult and then having like a kid personality and a superhero's body, I've never really loved that. I've never been thrilled by it. And then the first Shazam also came out when Spider Verse Into the Spider Verse came out. So that was what my interest was in to
Mm.
the Into the Spider Verse movie. I wasn't really interested into the Shazam movie. So for this one to be coming out, I'm not sure when it's coming out, but I just once I'm not interested in the first movie, the second movie kind of just falls under the radar. Kind of like how There Will Be Carnage for me. It kind of just fell
Mm.
under the radar for me because I wasn't really super into the first
I
film.
totally forgot about that movie.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a good turn your brain off movie. Like it's not a great film, but if you just turn your brain off and just like look at all the great carnage shit, it's awesome for what it is. It's very basic, very generic, but it's pretty awesome. But I love David F. Sandberg. He directed one of the best movies in the Conjuring franchise, Annabelle Creation. If you
Mhm.
actually look at the Shazam trailer, Annabelle is in the trailer. So that's really cool.
What?
Annabelle is also in Aquaman. So it's like if Annabelle is like actually canon in the in the MCU, if Annabelle is canon in the DCEU, how the fuck did she get from the bottom of the ocean and into some kid's classroom? It's kind of wild. I just wanted to bring that up. But Vash, what about you? What are your thoughts on the Shazam trailer?
It seems like I'm the only one that's excited out of all three of us because I actually enjoyed the first one. Maybe it could be more special because I actually watched it with my girlfriend at the time, my fiance currently. So maybe that's why it's one of our first comic movies that we watch in theater. So maybe it's a bit more special to me. But also, how come you said that you don't like Shazam or care for him? It's literally a boy that is admired by the heroes, just like Miss Marvel, that should like a boy Billy Batson wants to be and is inspired by Superman, and then he gets chosen by the gods and becomes a hero, and then could work alongside with his idol Superman. Like that's literally
I mean, just
like
because it's a
any boy's dream.
similar, just because it's a similar type story doesn't mean that it resonates with me. I just don't
True,
relate to Billy Batson or anything in his world. It just doesn't really work for me. Like I said, like
exactly.
I think Shazam's awesome. You know what I mean? But it's just like I can't say that I'm a fan. I can't say that, oh shit, I'm gonna go pick up like a Shazam comic. Like I just can't.
True,
I loved
but
Shazam in Flashpoint. Thought he was awesome.
oh
Getting to
yeah,
play around with the Shazam kids and all of that stuff. Like it's the Shazam family, I should say. Like, it just doesn't really resonate with me. It's all right. And the movie doesn't do anything for me at all. Like,
understandable.
I thought it was just fine, and the sequel's just like, yeah, this first trailer just like, yeah, more of the same. People are gonna love it. It's highly rated. I'm in the minority. I'm perfectly fine with that. It is what it is.
I did like the trailer as well. The the little remix it did with Albo Slim Shady song, it worked well. I feel like I giggle, laugh a couple times. The cringiest one was like, I watched all the Fast and Furious films, and you know what? We are a family. Like, boy, you kind of ruined it. Like, you're just supposed to not laugh and hit it, just say we're family, and then just let it go on its own. But felt too forced in there. But I think that's probably the point of the joke. The way he's still kids, so he got too excited, overwhelmed, and hit the table and everything. But overall,
We are
I really like the
family.
trailer.
Bum, 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 bum.
Definitely not that one, Steve. Definitely not. But overall, I'm curious to see what they do with the sequel because the guy that gave our boy Billy Batson died, but then he's back again. So is he like cannot die since he turned into gold dust, but then he came back and he locked up in a jail. So I have a couple questions. And with the rumor of how Shazam 2 is going to connect to Black Adam, since they are in the same lore, and there's rumors that they might have a post-credit scene of Black Adam to Shazam 2, and then Shazam 2 is going to connect to Black Adam with its sequel. Who knows? That's also what I'm also curious about the film, to see if the DCEU is actually going to build something together, or they're going to continue to do whatever the fuck they do.
Yeah. We'll see, man. Like I said, I'll see it on HBO Max 45 days after its release.
Facts.
And I'll check it out. I'm not, using one of my A-list, picks to go see this in theaters. I refuse. So let's move on to the Marvel animation stuff. This was fucking dope. So
Here we go.
Spider-Man freshman year. We kind of talked about this last week. But it was confirmed like a couple days ago, maybe even yesterday or the day before, that it's going to be in an alternate universe. I thought this was pretty obvious because in the MCU, we know that Norman Osborn doesn't exist. There is no Oscorp, yet we see him. We see a more comic book accurate Doc Ock in this as well. Daredevil. So it's like in a completely different costume. We see that the first homemade suit that he wears is slightly different from the version that we have. So I thought it was pretty obvious that it was going to be in an alternate universe. So I thought that was really, really cool. Something that we did learn is that the series is going to follow the Civil War timeline where Spider-Man came into the MCU, but instead of Tony Stark, it's going to be Norman Osborn. Now, what that means, who knows? What organization is Norman Osborn running? We don't know. What is he inviting Peter to do? We don't know. So that's going to be really interesting. Charlie Cox is returning to voice Daredevil. Doctor Strange is going to make an appearance. Like I already mentioned, Doc Ock and a couple other villains from Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. So freshman year is looking to be pretty interesting. Like when I was before Comic-Con, I wasn't interested in this at all, if I'm being honest. I was just like, yeah, I'll watch it at some point. It'll be on Disney Plus. I'll check it out. But after I saw like all of the images and stuff, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm actually interested in this series. So Vash, starting with you, like what's your excitement level for freshman year?
Like I said it last week, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I don't know if you could see. No, you can. I have a portrait from Spider-Man, signed by Stan Lee. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the Spider-Man characters. It's not all of them, but I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. And for them to do a Spider-Man freshman year, I'm happy it's a Spider-Man animated. Marvel Studios, I'm happy it's connected to the multiverse. But why couldn't they just do a animated and connected to the actual MCU and Tom Holland version, since he's the one that's voicing it? And it's literally our boy Matt Murdock coming back, Charlie Cox voicing Daredevil, and also Stephen Strange. So you're saying it's a multiverse and it's gonna have Norman Osborn and everything else, but like, why can you find a way to tell an animated format of connected to the MCU where you can also connect to what the other shows that you've been doing, like Hawkeye, Loki, all these other shows are connected to the MCU main timeline? Why can't you do a Spider-Man freshman year? That's my con, or my gripe of what, like, okay, cool, it's multiverse, but why don't you just find a way to connect it to our MCU?
They don't have the rights. It's not theirs for them to use.
It's still Sony's technically.
No, I'm saying that they don't have to do a whole TV show, but still continue in the animated side, but just connected to the main MCU timeline.
They can't. They don't have the rights. It's not Marvel Studios to use. Like, if you ever notice, you never see Spider-Man in the Marvel Studios opening like sequence because they can't put him in it. Like, they can't. That's why it has to be in an alternate universe. They literally legally cannot use him. So that's why they can't continue the story, because it's not theirs to use, right? Spider-Man only shows up in the Marvel Studios banner when, it's a Spider-Man movie. It never happens at any other time. They literally can't. So it is what it is, right? So I think at least it's like it's going to be like a what if scenario where it's just like it's pretty much going to be like ours with some slight alterations, right? You know, like I said, it's like Feige said, it's going to pick up from Civil War, but instead of Tony, it'll be Norman Osborn. So we'll see where things kind of like coexist there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm interested in this because like in the other, so in the No Way Home movie, they talk about like Doctor Strange and the Avengers and stuff like that. And we kind of know that those Spider-Mans don't have other heroes. So it's just interesting to know that this universe in particular does have a Spider-Man that has a Doctor Strange. So that's something that's intriguing to me to, kind of play with the fact that this particular, this particular Peter Parker, whichever universe he is, he has a Doctor Strange, he has a Daredevil, and so on and so forth. And but we also know that he has Norman Osborn as well. So he has a Norman Osborn that is actually interacting with Daredevil, unlike how our movie when we got Norman Osborn coming into the universe and so forth and so forth. So this is going to be interesting as far as that different dynamic that we're going to get.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be really cool. Vasha, do you have any other thoughts on freshman year?
No.
Yeah, so let's
That's
move
about
on
it.
to the next thing. One of the things I am most excited about, if not the most excited that I am for Marvel animation, X-Men 97. I cannot wait for this shit. I cannot wait for this continuation. We know that Magneto is going to be the leader of this group of X-Men, so that's pretty intriguing. Last week, Chris was talking about the fact that what if this takes place in 838's universe, and the reason why Magneto's the leader of the X-Men is because Charles Xavier is dead. I think that would be really cool. Like Steve was talking about last week, we see him in the chair, the suit, when he's inside of Wanda's mind, the black turtleneck, the slacks, the music, everything is a spitting image of X-Men 97. So could that show take place in 838? I think that would be really, really cool if it did. You know,
Yep.
I'm kind of jealous I didn't think of it myself when Chris brought it up. I was like, dude, that's fucking sick. That would be insane if it took place in that universe. So Steve, starting with you, like, what are your thoughts? What is your excitement level for X-Men 97? It's coming out in fall 2023, not too far away. Excited for that, but what are your thoughts?
I'm super excited. Like I said, I was a big X-Men fan growing up as a kid. I haven't watched it in my adult life or whatever, so I do plan on watching that. But I am a huge Gambit fan, and I don't feel like we get Gambit conversation in anything. We're not getting Gambit in any of these X-Men movies and things like that. Channing Tatum dropped the ball. Somehow that situation didn't work out with him being Gambit, which is good in my opinion. I don't think Channing Tatum was a good fit for a Gambit. But I
Could have
wanted to
worked,
know.
maybe.
Hmm,
I don't know.
maybe
It
you
could have
never
worked.
know. Maybe you never know. I mean, I'm not putting it past it, but it's just I wanted more Gambit storyline and stuff like that. There's not enough comic book runs on Gambit, in my opinion. They don't. They give us a little bit about Gambit, but I don't feel like they give enough. And I just love like the lore and stuff of Gambit. Like I said, I did some research. I found out that Mr. Sinister is the reason why that's his power. Like he actually had more power of that, and he just
You didn't
couldn't.
know that?
No, I didn't. I knew like
It's
he
like,
was a mutant, but he had too much power and he couldn't control it. And Mr. Sinister's, subdued it and made it like kind of weaker or whatever. In a sense, he nerfed his power a lot. So finding that out was like super crazy. I'm not sure if they talked about it in the X-Men cartoon and I just missed it as a kid. But if they did, then boom,
I don't
okay.
recall
But
them
if
ever mentioning it.
yeah, so
I know they had vague conversations because I was seeing clips throughout the week of what the X-Men 97 cuz just to refresh my memory, but they spoke vaguely, but they didn't have too much. And maybe now with the sequel for next year, they will actually dive into that most likely now.
yeah, that's why I was saying that's why I'd be super excited if they do because I saw Mr. Sinister in the villain category or whatever.
Yeah.
For X-Men 97. So I'm hoping that they do touch on that and we get a lot more of that story as far as like finding out like what happened with Gambit's power and things like that. So I'm a big X-Men fan. It's like it's my second favorite team in comics behind the Ninja Turtles. I'm a huge Ninja Turtles fan. Y'all can see the pops behind me. But yeah, so they're like my second favorite team or whatever. Like I love X-Men. So I'm super excited about this. I can't wait for it to come out. And without getting an announcement for an X-Men movie, this is like our second best. You know, this is like our second best thing that we could get from the X-Men universe or whatever is X-Men 97 TV series. So I'm hyped for it.
Yeah, man. Vash, what about you?
As a person that I complained last week about Marvel finally putting the shows in chronologically in order. Thank you. Now I can finally binge the show. Since I just finished Spider-Man season 1, and so sad there's still only one season of Spectacular Spider-Man. It should be like maybe Marvel, maybe I should reboot this, maybe get the rights back, or maybe pay the dude or whatever the case may be. Please. But for this 97, I'm gonna binge the actual first part of the prequel of the sequel. I'm excited for it. Thrill. But overall, I'm happy that X-Men, not that Marvel has the rights back. They're starting to give love back to the first mutants. So I'm very happy that they announced that. And also some interesting news that we got through the week of San Diego Comic-Con is also that Ms. Marvel was supposed to be a mutant originally, not a Inhuman.
Yep.
But the reason they did Inhuman is because they had rights issues, so they didn't want to put shine to the X-Men and mutants. I'm like, damn, yes, all petty ass motherfuckers to do that. They literally said, we don't got the rights, so we're gonna make your Inhumans for that side.
I spend millions of dollars for you to reap the benefits and make millions of dollars?
Which I get. That's what I say. Like, yeah, petty, but in a good petty. Like, I think in marketing. But now that we like, they've thought about this for years for them to finally say, hey, now that we got, now that we own Fox and we own the mutants, we could say the truth. We technically wanted to make her an actual mutant, but since shit happens, so now it's interesting that they're trying to backtrack. Now it makes sense why they did what they did with the actual show and did not make it Inhuman, because technically she was supposed to be a mutant the whole time. So now it's going to be interesting through the next couple of years of what we see of things that they were planned to do as Inhumans were always supposed to be originally as a mutant.
I hope we never get Inhumans ever, because there really is no point. They're just mutants. Like, you can still have the characters,
of course,
but they're just mutants
with a different DNA. Yeah, so it's just interesting to see what they're gonna do for the next couple of years. Is what you're saying, James? Is like, are they gonna just scratch off the whole idea of Inhumans overall, or are they gonna make it to a different concept with Kree or narrative? So, like I said, it's gonna be very intriguing of what they treat the Inhumans and mutants the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, even they had Inhumans as an announcement last year, didn't they? And it just never came out. They just was like, oh,
I mean, that was years ago.
Oh, that was years ago. Yeah, it just never came out. And they were like, oh, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, Feige never wanted to do it.
Makes sense.
But let's move on to I Am Groot. This series of shorts is coming to Disney Plus starting on August 10th. It is so adorable. Like, I watched the trailer like twice, just getting to see Groot in like a couple of these different situations, like watching him with, like, I have no idea what this like species of people is, but he creates this leaf and they start eating it and they start worshiping him like a god, and he's like, I am Groot. It just looks so fucking adorable. I can't wait for it. I think they said it's gonna be like 10 shorts, I believe. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but like 10 shorts, I think that would be awesome for that. So Vash, starting with you, like, what's your excitement level for I Am Groot?
I'm sorry. I think Chris is gonna feel hurt as well, and maybe you and Steve as well. But I don't give a fuck. I know I may sound dark right here, like, oh, I don't care about life. He's a plant. He's a a creature. He's an organic being. I fucking love Groot. I'm playing the game right now of Marvel Guardian of the Galaxy because of James and Ray and a couple other people hype about the game. I'm playing it because of Game Pass. But maybe once I see the show come out, I'll binge it. But the idea of I Am Groot, the Guardian special and everything like that is like, these things are cute. I mean, I'm not the audience for it. Maybe once it comes out, I would love it. Like, oh my God, there's probably like a slice of life type of thing for Marvel. Then maybe as a person who loves slice of life in anime, it maybe in a slice of life of I Am Groot, maybe I'll enjoy it. But it depends how it's handled. But honestly, I have, I'm gonna take it from Steve. I put a 1 fire out of 5.
1 flame out of 5. Okay.
Yeah, a little 1 flame. It's my least hypeness for expectation. It's my 1 flame here.
Wow. I'm not gonna lie. So I obviously I'm a big kid. I've been watching every kid movie, family movie that done came out this summer and stuff like that. And so I love Doug Days, which was the Up spinoff where it was the dog and he's got his own shorts. Star Wars Visions. You got Olaf had their own like shorts from Frozen, and Baymax had his own shorts, series of shorts. And I've really enjoyed the shorts because it's something that is like if you give us too much of it, you can ruin it. But giving us these little shorts, it's like, oh, okay, I like this, and you can kind of keep going and building off of it. Whereas if you did a 30-minute episode of I Am Groot and then you gave us 6 to 8 of them, it will kind of be like maybe it's too much of just I Am Groot, because it's like what lines can you get other than I Am Groot? So it's like you can't do too much. The shorts are perfect to me. It seems perfect, like and it's like JB said, it's cute. It's like, oh, okay, this is gonna be kind of cool seeing him, young and kind of growing up and stuff like. I don't know how far we'll get into it, but seeing him young and stuff like that, I think it is going to be super cool. I'm excited for it. And like I said, 15 minutes is more than enough time for just I Am Groot. I Am Groot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Question: is this connected to the MCU or is this just like a non-canon show?
Yeah. So the reports say that it's non-canon.
Fair enough. It's just him playing in a room.
But I'd have to double check that. But what I read said it was non-canon.
Yeah, that would be fine. Him playing in the room while everybody else is asleep or something at nighttime. That would be cool.
Yeah, like this as to what I was saying, like Marvel doing these non-canon things whenever they choose, it's fine. But it was just make it like, oh, cool, and I Am Groot, but also it's canon to the MCU or the multiverse or something like that. Like it would be nice. A little nice addition, a nice little sprinkle of storytelling. Like that to me will probably make me more inclined to watch it. But when it's non-canon, like, I don't have to rush or need to or not in a rush to, I'll watch it.
I mean, it's like I said, it's fun to me. Like I've enjoyed like all of their shorts. Like I feel like they've done a good job on all of them. That's just my opinion. I'm a big ass kid. Like I watch so much cartoons and stuff like that. So this is like something where I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna watch it. I'm definitely gonna watch it. And they'll probably give us all the episodes at once. So it's like I'll watch it while I'm doing the dishes. You know what I'm saying? And I'll just run through it or whatever. It'll be something cool. Wow.
So thanks for the correction, Chris. So thanks for the correction. So it's going to take place between Volume 2 and that end credit scene. So that's cool. So it is going to be canon. That's good. So that's really cool that it's going to be like in the story, in the main storyline somewhere. We're going to get to see like an animated version of it. That's cool.
Yeah. And that would be even interesting to just, I told you to go to bed or something like that. And Chris and Star-Lord is like, cuts off the light at the end of episodes. I think that would be cool. Like, be interesting.
Yeah.
Same.
All right. So next topic, something that I'm extremely excited for. Again, Marvel Zombies is coming in 2024. It's going to be rated TVMA. Some of the zombies that we can look forward to seeing is going to be Scarlet Witch. We're going to see Captain America again. We're going to see a Captain Marvel zombie this time, an Abomination zombie, a zombie of Ghost, Anokoye. Some of the new heroes that we'll see, Kate Bishop, Shang-Chi, Yelena, Miss Marvel, and Jimmy Woo. So that's going to be really interesting. I am very excited about the TVMA rating That means we're going to get really dark and fucked up. We're going to actually see some zombies eating people. I think that's going to be fucking dope. I love seeing the Marvel Zombies in the What If Zombies episode, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Vash, starting with you, what's your excitement level for Marvel Zombies, especially knowing it's going to be TVMA? Very excited for that.
For the TVMA, I'm excited because even Kevin Feige said that it's hard to do Deadpool 3 rated R because he's trying to see the whole direction. So at least Kevin Feige knows that Marvel Zombies, gruesome zombies, eat people, eat heroes. So he knows that, hey, we should put the TVMA for this content because this is something that we should go actually full forward. I'm like, cool, awesome. 2, for the Marvel Zombies, I'm happy. I don't know why my timeline wasn't as happy because I do follow some comic book heads and they are not that thrilled because they feel like they're going to expand more of what Marvel Zombies was in the comics where it was not that great writing, but the concept was there. And I'm like, that's good. We should expand something that was bad. If the concept is there, why not make it good and better than what it was supposed to be? Like the reason that Marvel Zombies didn't last long, or maybe sales-wise or whatever, but the concept is interesting. Those are the what-if scenarios. Zombies with your heroes. How, if you have to kill Iron Man right in front of you, it's either you kill him and you take a suit, or you turn to the next zombie. So it's like those are interesting ideas. So those are the what-if scenarios. So if you're telling me that it's a bad idea, I'm sorry, but then you're not thinking big. You're not thinking how to expand the stories that we have here in comics, Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, whatever it is. The reason is to put them in new eyes to the audience, to the fans that do not read comics, but also tell a better story than what was said 20, 30 years ago with new creators, with new ideas, and with new perspective. So I focus on Marvel Zombies idea. Can't wait. It comes out in year 20. Damn, 2 years from now. Shit, I get it. Animation takes on, but damn, that took my breath away for a second. I'm like, whoo, I got to wait a year and a half, and probably if it's fall season, then 2 years. But still, Marvel Zombies, I'm excited for them. I can't wait to see the animation. And people, hey, at least Kevin Feige is giving time to the animation department, but I guess to the VFX people, they be like, fuck yeah, we need that money. All right.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it's spread out because we're gonna get into What If after this. But What If season 2 drops in early 2023. So it's like, Marvel Zombies could be beginning of 2024. You know, who knows? It might not be that far apart. But Steve, kicking it to you, what's your excitement level for Marvel Zombies?
I'm actually really excited about this. There's a lot of zombie stories coming out all the time, and after a while, you're just like, I'm over it. It's just like, how many zombie stories can you make? And like, I think The Walking Dead was the first time that in comics or whatever that you had like, bro, no matter how you die, you turn into a zombie.
Right.
And that was like the first twist that they gave us with a zombie story. And with this is just like even more terrifying to think of that, like, let's just say that we lived in a world where superheroes existed. And you're like, it's already hard enough to escape from a zombie. But then to find out that the zombies have superpowers would be freaking it would be terrifying. So like this is a different twist to me. Like, you know what I'm saying, on the zombie story, because you get so many different zombie stories all the time, and they're not even fun at this point. It's just like they're all just the same thing. And this is something that I think is unique and different in a zombie story, and I'm actually excited for this.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Marvel Zombies. I think they would be doing us a disservice if they don't continue that zombie Thanos storyline with him like taking over Wakanda with the Infinity Stones. I think we would be robbed if they don't continue. Well, I mean, I guess
they probably do it in What If.
Right. Yeah, so that that would be better served in What If. But man, that would be fucking dope if we got like some part of it in Marvel Zombies. I think that would be insane. But I'm
wondering who do you think would be the main MCs for the zombie story? Because like obviously we had a bunch of characters that you listed off, heroes listed off.
Yeah.
But obviously it's Marvel, so they have to have like some MCU characters as the leads. And I'm wondering who are going to be like the main characters that are not infected.
Yeah, I think we're going to follow Yelena and Kate a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that would actually be really interesting. Like their friendship, if you will, it's really cool, it's really interesting and funny. I think following them in a zombie apocalypse would be fucking hilarious.
Dope, dope. I don't know why, but I think it would be hilarious to see like Moon Knight as the
Yeah, yeah.
as the one that's not infected and he's dealing with it with his different personality, with his DID personality. That would be hilarious to see.
Steven would be fucking freaking out about the zombie apocalypse. He's like, nope, Mark, you take over.
You take it. He's like, nope, 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 you do it. You do it. And then they black out and Jake took over and killed out a bunch of zombies. It's like,
right. Jake turns into fucking Rick Grimes and just murders like a horde of fucking zombies.
I would definitely be interested in seeing something like that.
Vash, so what are your thoughts on Marvel Zombies?
I thought I said it in the beginning.
Okay, my bad. Okay, so I already did.
No worries.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's move on to What If Season 2 then. So What If Season 2 and 3. Let's do both of those at the same time. So very excited for What If Season 2. Very excited at What If Season 3 got greenlit. The Ultron Vision, like the Ultimate Ultron, Infinity Ultron, I should say. That episode was my favorite What If episode, period. That and then the Doctor Strange episode. I love the animation. They did some great cinematography in those episodes as well. I think there's so many more things that they could explore. Could you imagine what they could do with Shang-Chi? You know, in like a what if scenario, or like, I don't know, they could do more stuff with Thanos. There's an infinite number of things that they can do with these what if stories. So, Steve, starting with you, what's your excitement level for What If Season 2 and Season 3? Were you surprised that it was going to get a third season?
I'm surprised it got a third season. I wasn't surprised that it got a second one because I feel like they left us with a kind of a cliffhanger with the Ultron and Killmonger thing going on. Doctor Strange is left, or the evil Doctor Strange is left guarding it. I feel like there was more that you could add to the story. Marvel is really in love with Captain Carter. This is their way of giving us more Captain Carter. Also, like you said, there's more story to be told. There's other characters now that they can bring in. Now they could give us a what if Echo or just any random character that they want to, because I think one of the stories is what if Hela from Thor. So I'm like, okay, what are we gonna get? Was she raised with Thor and Loki or something like that? That would be an interesting story to do a what if on. My biggest what if Disney doesn't steal this from me for saying it, I really want to see a what if like Frank Castle, the Punisher, is actually Moon Knight. I would love to see something like that. like a what if. Oh, sorry.
What
I
if
guess
Frank Castle became Moon Knight? Fuck yeah. Sign me up.
Yeah, because like,
can we greenlit that episode and can we just have it out? Yo, Marvel, just put pause on every single episode you're doing. Just greenlit that episode. Put the episode out as a one-off. That's it. I need that right now in my veins.
I would love that. I like the person that went on a mission is Frank Castle. He gets shot. He's about to die. Khonshu's like, hey, here I am. And then he's got the perfect Jake in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I always wanted to see. So I would love to see like a Frank Castle what if, but I don't know if they would do that because TVMA, that would be really dark, I would assume. But like there's so many characters that they can do now that they're introducing more characters. So I guess it makes sense for season 3 because it's like, oh, we got Agatha Harkness, oh, we got Echo, we got this and we got this going on. So there's more characters they can do. I'm interested to see. Hopefully they can give us a what if Hulk never went monk or whatever he is right now. Like, hopefully we can get something where he's just like crazy Hulk again because I missed that.
Yeah. I'm really interested in like a Daredevil what if. Like, what if Matt Murdock didn't lose his eyes or whatever you want to call it? I think that would be crazy. Like, would he have become a lawyer? Would he have become a vigilante? Like, what does Matt Murdock's life look like? What does the world look like without Matt Murdock as Daredevil? So it's like, that's kind of intriguing to me the more that I talk about it. But yeah, Rob, I'm with you. We need Frank Castle in the MCU pronto. And with the additions of like Vincent D'Onofrio, Charlie Cox, it seems like Christian Ritter is coming back. I think the door is open. John Bernthal has said on multiple occasions that he would definitely come back, but only if they kept the tone. And I think they're going to do that. You know, Deadpool 3 is going to be rated R. We know we're going to get to Daredevil Born Again, but we know that's going to be the same tone. So it's like, we just need to keep that going. You know?
Marvel Zombies is TVMA. So I'm like, you're doing it. So I feel like they might as well go on and give it to us. I mean, adding the Punisher on Disney Plus in general is already like enough for you to be like, oh, okay, they're gonna probably do it. And I feel like the difference between Marvel and DC is when these actors speak up and say they want to continue these roles, and you know that it's a hit. Marvel kind of just like, all right, well, let's make it work. Whereas DC kind of just ignores it a little bit or whatever. So I feel like he's definitely coming back at this point, especially with TVMA and a rated R movie under your belt.
At the end of the day, it's hard for us to always predict of what's going on behind closed doors, because once we hear those type of lines like, hey, I will come back as Frank Castle, maybe they already had conversations, but when I say it publicly, that's why all these type of lines or sources be coming out. At the end of the day, it's called a marketing strategy, one way or another, for said person or for said company.
Yeah.
But overall, for my thoughts on What If season 2 and 3, season 3 being greenlit already, not surprised, because I know What If is going to probably go on to season 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because with all the new characters they're going to introduce in the future, like Kate Bishop, Adam Warlock, all these characters in Guardian Galaxy 3, all these what if scenarios that you could add in your own twist of, all right, cool, we did this in the movie, but how about we do this twist with Star-Lord and narrative? We do this twist with Adam Warlock, like the twist, like James brought up, of the version of the version of Ultron. Dope episode, I agree. But my favorite is the one where Stephen Strange cannot fix the one incident that caused him to be Strange, Doctor Strange, Supreme Strange, and he tried the best, anything he did, no matter with all the magic in the world, to fix that one fixed point in life, but you can't, because for her to die, you have to become the Supreme Doctor Strange. Like, that is brutal. Like, that messes up your psychic and mentality. No matter how smart, no matter how brave, strong you are, your psychosis in your brain, it could be breaking up in one or in 1,000 scenarios, and he did it. Just seeing the one person he loved die and repeat, like, and what they could do with season 2 and 3, each story could be a one-off, or each story could connect. And I love that for this possibility for What If. The What If is the possibility could be endless. And Kevin Feige has a plate of you telling any story. My hope is that maybe they could do stories of Spider-Man, but can they do more? They could only do bits and pieces. But I love to see I've always been intrigued of what happened if Peter Parker did not get bit by the Spider-Man. Maybe if it was Harry Osborn, that would be pretty interesting. Like in this universe, what happened if Peter never got bit and it was his best friend, Harry Osborn? What would his suit look like? How would he control the responsibility of being always with depression because your father never loved you and always try to be mean to you and always had high expectation? How would he treat the Spider-Bite? Would he become a villain? What would he tell your father? So it's pretty interesting. Like, those are my ideas of the What If, and I'm happy for Kevin Feige knowing What If season 2 is already in production. And season 3 we're greenlit. We know damn well season 4, 5, and 6 is also going to be in production in the next coming years. So not shocking at the end of the day.
You think so?
Yes. If you already have phase 6 planned, you also have What If, because that means you could tell the whole Secret Invasion. What if this happened? What if with Black Panther? What if with all the other possibilities? Like, you could tell a lot of stories that are not part of the MCU. This is a multiverse. He literally said the Watcher never gave each of those Earths that we saw, or each of those universe, a code name. So we only have seen a different type of universes. We never heard, planet or universe 716, 4212 names. We never heard numbers. We just heard a different universe, the what if aspects. So I feel like he has a plan to tell each a different story of Iron Fist, possibly Daredevil, even possibly a story of Daredevil with the Kingpin actually being friends. What if instead of you stopping the Kingpin,
Friends.
you work for the Kingpin? Who knows? So I feel like the possibilities are
Interesting.
endless. If you have 6 phases planned, you possibly already have 6 seasons planned. That's my guess. That's my bet.
There's so much what if. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many
Exactly.
different what if.
I think three's enough. I think any more would overstay its welcome personally.
If
But
it's
I
eight
mean,
or 10 episodes per season, it could work. If you do
If,
more than that, then I will say it's oversaturating.
I won't complain. I just personally think that's way too much. Like you got three, you did like 20 something episodes, get in, get out, and let it be done. But let's move on to the Marvel Studios panel. This is the big
The
drop.
big behemoth.
Everything that Kevin Feige told us about pretty much the next 2 phases of the MCU. So, how I'm going to break this down, I'm pretty much just going to do a timeline order. We're going to talk about the last 2 projects in phase 4, and then in order, we're going to talk about every single film coming out in phase 5 and phase 6. So, let's dive into it. There's not a bunch of news for each thing, so we kind of will kind of fly through these, but it's going to be a lot of fun talking about them and just to see where Kevin Feige is taking the MCU. So first up, the first of the last 2 things in MCU Phase 4, She-Hulk Attorney at Law. We got a new trailer at SDCC. First episode is going to drop on August 17th. Daredevil is going to be on the show. Wong is going to be on the show. We got a little glimpse of them in the trailer. So Steve, starting with you, what's your excitement level now that you've seen this trailer for She-Hulk? Because I've been very excited for this show. Tatiana Maslany, I think she is a great choice. She's really funny. She's beautiful. She's talented. So I can't wait to see what she does with Jen. There was some stuff like the training stuff in the trailer. It's very basic. We've seen these training montages many times, but to see it happening between Hulks is going to be very interesting. Watching her pretty much being used as like this attorney for other metahumans because she is one. I want to see how she struggles with that, right? Where she just wants to do a job versus someone wants her to be the face of, other enhanced beings, right? So what's your excitement level for She-Hulk?
So first of all, She-Hulk comes out August 18th, which is my birthday. Let's go. But with that being said, hopefully, I really really enjoy Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner. I'm not so sure on how like with this Banner Hulk situation going, but we did see at the end of Shang-Chi that he was back in his human form. So we will get the, I guess, the transformations and things like that going on with that this is their way of giving us, to me in my opinion, some more Hulk stuff without giving us a Hulk movie because of the fact that I don't think they're allowed to still with
Yeah, they still don't
everything.
have the rights.
Yeah. So this is their way of doing that. I don't know much about She-Hulk. I just know that she's a lawyer and she's like a relative or something like that. I'm wondering how they're going to give her her powers. Is it going to be one of those situations where she needs some blood transfusion or something like that? And Mark Ruffalo,
So that's how it
Bruce
happened in the
Banner.
comics. Who knows
Mhm.
if that's
Yes.
how it's going to happen on the show? But continue.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, does she need a blood transfusion or are they going to come up with their own storyline? Which, all in all, it is what it is. Hopefully, we can have some situation where we get to see Hulk rage instead of the smart, brilliant Hulk that we get this Zen. Because we saw some yoga training and stuff like this in the commercials, things like that. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I am excited to see Charlie Cox on screen. Maybe we can see him for a couple of episodes. We can get a little bit of that. Maybe eventually get the love interest that we know that might be building up with that as
I've been
well.
saying that with
I hope
Betty.
so.
What I really really hope is if they, I'm not sure if you guys know much about the brilliant Banner Hulk, or whatever, but he's like a villain or something like that in the comic run. And I would love to see something like that. Like if they could kind of like start to show signs of it, like the Banner Hulk taking over or something like that. I would love that. Him being a villain in one of the Marvel movies because you have that power, that ferocity, and that anger. And then on top of that, you have Bruce Banner's intellect. That comic run was very interesting to
Mm-hmm.
see him like as a villain and them having to try to figure out how to kill him, especially in this universe where Tony Stark is already dead. So like the people that could outwit him is Franklin Richards, who doesn't look like he's been announced yet. So it's like who takes on the Banner Hulk? I would love to see something like that develop, something like that. I'm not sure what series or whatever or what movie it would work in, but I would love to see something like that develop. So
Even if they had the rights, like I think it's so hard to do a Hulk movie just like how hard it is to do a Superman movie. Like who do you pick, right? Like
yeah.
who's the antagonist? What do you put the Hulk through that he literally can't just punch through? Like literally the angrier he gets, the longer he fights, the stronger he becomes, the faster he heals, the
Mm-hmm.
more gamma energy he emits. Like there's no stopping him. So it's just like what do
yeah.
you even do in a movie? So it's like it's complicated. But Vash, what's your excitement level for She-Hulk knowing that we're so close to it?
All right, one, the black and yellow suit. We got the OG Daredevil suit, and we didn't see the details since my boys in the night. Daredevil, the DD. If he get the name on the actual suit, oh, that'll be hella dope. But if it actually happens, we gotta see. We'll talk more news on his own series, what we expect and everything. But Daredevil, that got me more excited. No lie, Marvel knew like, yo, She-Hulk. What characters can we put to make fans more check this out? Series. We got Hulk, Bruce Banner Hulk, but Daredevil and She-Hulk had a relationship in the comics, so let's add them too. So it makes sense for Daredevil. I fuck with this. She-Hulk. This trailer, I don't know if it's me, guys, but it kind of hooked me in more, made me more intrigued of the series.
Mhm.
Because at first, the past trailers, I don't know, was like, okay, I'm gonna still watch it because it's Marvel. I'm gonna still be entertained. But it's like, am I truly invested to see it week to week? Of course, we are because we are gonna cover it within our content and show. But now with this trailer, okay, I saw a training montage, and with the Captain She-Hulk broke the fourth wall, just like the comics, and we see Daredevil, just like they have worked together in the comics and having a relationship. So, how many episodes is this series again?
Probably six.
She-Hulk, I think. Let's
Most of
see.
them been six so far.
Yeah, I don't see it quickly, real quick. But while James is gonna look for it, since I see him typing, Um, overall, with She-Hulk, I'm curious to see what they do with the 6, 8 episodes, whatever it may the case be. I'm excited. Hopefully, it's more than 35 minutes or 40 minutes per episode. Hopefully, it's the slot of 45 minutes to 50, and it gives us, the audience, a good understanding of Hulk Bruce or Bruce Hulk, and also bring back Betty, man. Like, we know he got the love interest. Like, that's how his sister, I mean, his cousin connected with Hulk because, I mean, with Bruce, because his cousin fucked with Betty because they knew how Betty helped Bruce slash Hulk. So
Mm-hmm.
all I want, like, yo, if they don't bring up that one question, if the cousin be like, yo, so have you spoken to Betty? It's been years. Girl got snapped or something. Like, hey, have you reached out to her? Something like, if that one line saying that how's your ex-girlfriend is the one that helped you cause you to be like this, a Hulk. If
They're
that line
gonna
don't come out, I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be
they're
mad.
gonna
I'm gonna be
they're gonna
upset.
be like, "How is your ex girlfriend?" He's gonna be like, "Well, Natasha passed away," and
Oh, yo, if they do that, Steve, I'm gonna be like, fuck this shit.
like
Fuck
Natasha.
this shit. I'm gonna be so mad about that.
Yeah,
But
so
James,
She-Hulk is gonna be 9 episodes.
oh,
So it's gonna be
fuck with
Nine.
really
that.
good.
I
Yeah.
fuck with that.
So would you
Okay.
guys want to see Liv Tyler come back, or would you want them to recast for another actress? Because I mean, it's someone else other than Ed Norton.
I wouldn't be mad if they brought Liv Tyler back. Um, the thing is, I think she plays well off of Edward Norton, but I'm not sure how she would do off of Mark
Exactly.
Off
Ruffalo.
of Ruffalo, yeah.
And
Yeah.
plus, it's been 15 years. So, is it 12 years
Almost.
roughly? Yeah, because it came out 2008. So, like, it's been 14 years. Wow. So, if you really think about it, at the end of the day, I don't mind if they bring her back. It depends if she still wants to do the role, if she has no projects lined up, or if she is already been like a cameo scene. But at the same time, I don't mind a recast either, as long as the chemistry works, as long as the history align and with us the audience, we didn't care that they recast the Hulk. Nobody batted an eye. So at the end of the day, if they recast Betty, and even lower less character that nobody has seen within the MCU, then F it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So next topic, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. This is going to be the cap on Phase 4. This trailer broke me, man. I've seen this trailer a couple times now, and the trailer absolutely tore me apart. I wanted them to keep T'Challa alive in the universe, but obviously that's not, you know, it's not very lucrative to the story. I think it makes sense for them to kill him off so that they can move on with other characters and put T'Challa to rest and honor Chadwick at the same time. So it's like this was hard for me. I can already tell when this film comes out I'm going to be an absolute mess. But on a happier note, it was great to see the first look at Namor. It was good to see our first look at the Atlanteans. We're going to see the Dora Milaje fighting the Atlanteans. We got our first look at the sneak peek of whoever is going to be the new Black Panther, who, I mean, we can all like assume confidently that it's going to be Shuri, but I am very excited for Namor. I really wish Chadwick was around. It would have been great to see like this battle of two kings like fighting for their nations. I think that would have been dope. There's some leaks that came out about the film. If those leaks are correct, I want that movie. I think it would be really, really interesting
Same.
to see. But the film is going to drop November 11th. Again, very excited for this movie. It got me listening to No Woman, No Cry during the trailer. I'm just like, oh man, here we go. It's going to be great. So, Steve, starting with you, what was your thoughts on the first teaser trailer for Wakanda Forever? And what's your excitement level?
So I really, I mean, like everybody else, I love that trailer. It was definitely emotional. Putting Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa's version on a wall kind of like solidifies that like there's some kind of like remembrance service or something going on. But I don't think that's the end of T'Challa per se because we have multiverse. So I feel like their version of T'Challa is gone, possibly. And I honestly and truthfully feel like you can still honor Chadwick Boseman, like which is what it looks like what they're about to do, and still go forward with another T'Challa. Maybe it'll be a multiverse version. Obviously, I feel like in this particular movie, we're gonna get Shuri, and maybe at the end something multiverse happens, or in another movie something multiverse happens, and he says that he's T'Challa, and then they're like, "You're not our T'Challa." Something weird like that happened, whatever. Because there's so much story left to be told with T'Challa, so it's unfortunate that the situation happened. And recasting, I feel like eventually you might have to do just because T'Challa is just really huge in Marvel as far as like the storyline and everything that goes. Namor looked really, really good. I'm excited about it. I was already had my fan casting or whatever with it, but I actually really thought he looked really good. There's some couple of scenes where people are like kind of griping. They feel like he's not jacked enough. But I mean, this is the first shoot. I mean, the
People will
first,
complain about anything, man.
yeah. I'm like, it's the first pick of him. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, that's that, and then you turn around and then you find out that in other scenes he is really, really jacked, and It just
I
was a
mean,
bad
that
pick.
scene of him walking out of the water, he looks pretty fucking jacked to me. I mean, yeah, he's not
Yeah,
Hemsworth, but like, what do you want?
yeah,
Like,
But I'd
definitely.
say he's more built than all three of us here. It's
bro, come on.
like what do people expect? Like a whole bodybuilder from the gym? It's like, nah, my dude is literally in the ocean sea. What comic book characters have you seen that's built in the ocean? They literally are lean people. Maybe Aquaman
I
and our
mean,
boy Namor are the
Aquaman
only
and Namor, yeah. I mean, they all are, but it's just like, I mean, he is pretty ripped. I just
Yeah,
don't know how much bigger you want him to be.
right. It's like we
Like,
I
why
cannot
does
saw.
he
always be
need
the
to
Rock.
look? Why does he need? Yeah, why does he need to look like The Rock or Hemsworth? Like,
I
I
saw
don't
a
get
few
it.
complaints about it. They were like, y'all should have put him on the same program as everybody else, and it was a bunch of little nitpicky things
Oh
What?
about that.
God.
But like, I'll send them into the group
Paul
chat.
Rudd isn't jacked. War Machine isn't jacked. Okay, like,
Exactly.
what do you want?
But like for this, it's just I'm wondering what are we gonna get with it. Obviously we're gonna get a attack on Wakanda, the Namor run, which is an awesome, really good run of Namor attacking Wakanda, and I'm wondering how we're gonna build off of that. Seeing Riri was like refreshing to like just be like, oh shoot, we getting Riri.
Another one of those
Um,
moments I almost cried.
yeah, it's just so much, and it's so much that like we're getting to see something for for black people. Me as a black man, I'm just like, yo, this is really dope. And then seeing strong female representation as well. It's like, yo, this is dope to give us something for our younger girls to look up to as far as like just seeing them on screen. Because we saw T'Challa on screen and we were like, finally, something for us. And it was like, boom, we got that. But now we're going to see Riri and possibly Shuri in the Black Panther suit. So that's something for our young girls to get to look and see. So that's really important. And I'm really hyped for this. November is when it's supposed to come out, and I feel like it can't come fast enough.
Yeah, dude, I love everything that you said about the representation. Like, we have representation for black people in this film, for Latino people in this film. I
Facts.
love it. Like, you never know how important representation is until a film happens that actually represents you well, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this feels good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not many films that praise black culture, right? Like, we get a bunch of slavery movies all the fucking
Facts.
time. We're getting an Emmett Till movie. As like as much as I get the fact that you want to bring these things to light and make sure that new generations never forget these horrible atrocities that have happened in history, it's
Mm-hmm.
just like,
I
can
don't
we
want to see it.
also get more black empowerment movies too? Can we get the
Mm-hmm.
same amount of those as well as the educational not so great time for black people? Can we get those too?
And honestly and truthfully, like you don't even have to give us empowerment. Just give me a black story that's great. Like, what I'm saying? It doesn't even have to be empowerment. It just can be a black fantasy story. And I will
Yeah, where
love
we
it.
don't
Like,
die. That would be
yeah, just
great.
something just normal. Like I as much as I love Black Panther and stuff like that with the empowerment, but hey, what about just like our version of a Star Wars or something like that? I wouldn't mind seeing that. So like
Yeah, it
it's
would have been
interesting.
nice if Finn was actually like useful in the new trilogy. That would have been great representation.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
But Vash, where's your excitement level? What did you think about the first teaser?
I damn cry. I'm going to be straight up honest. I cry. Like I said, for the audience or anybody that's new tuning in, I have met Chadwick Boseman and I met him. He looked healthy as man. The year later, he passed away, and during that time, he was probably in between stage 3 to stage 4 cancer. And for me to see him in person, this dude smiled like he's the most strongest person alive. Because for him not to tell anybody, his peers, coworkers, only know Kevin Feige, of course, the important people within the movies industry knew that they work with. Man, that is something a feat that not many people could do to still do a job and perform and still have cancer. That's something very rare. And my condolences to anybody, but this trailer, this teaser it didn't feel, I forgot who in the chat said it, but this teaser didn't feel like a trailer to a movie. This teaser felt like it like it was a remembrance of the king of T'Challa of the world Wakanda. Like it didn't feel a teaser to a movie. It felt like a teaser to a story of a documentary.
Preach,
Like
dog.
it's something that it felt so powerful. Like I literally had to pause the first time while watching the teaser, and I'm like, wait, is this the song they chose? And I literally was like, the song, the cut edit of this teaser, the way the actress Angela Bassett, the way she just performed the sadness of her saying that I have lost everything, my husband, the king, and now her next one in line, her son, who was the king after her husband passed. She lost them, and the way she just delivered the line, like, I've lost everything. You guys wouldn't understand what I've been going through. And it's like, shit, any mother that have lost her husband and her son and only have her daughter, and then who has a kingdom to run, like, I can understand what this person is going through. And the actress just did such a beautiful job. Like, I could go on and on, but just to see this teaser overall, it's just powerful the way I have never seen any other teaser to be. And I'm gonna repeat what a few people that have said it, content creators that know, it's a lightning in a bottle. This teaser, you cannot replicate it again in the future. Only this type of movie could replicate. And I love how much passion they're doing this for this movie, putting the time and effort for this, because it's such an important movie for the audience, for the studio, and for the people that was part of this movie. And it's such a beautiful thing. Like, I can't wait to see. I have so many theories, so many thoughts, but at the same time, like James himself, I have read the leaks. So at the same time, I don't want to touch too much of what I saw, because I could break down what I saw. And all I'm gonna say, I'm excited for what I saw, what could be from what I read of said leaks. If it comes true, I'm gonna cry as well, because the way they put in this direction, the visuals in this movie, and also my last thoughts, representation. He's Mexican, but he's Spanish. My boy is Namor on the big screen. He looks Spanish. I've been called Mexican before too, so I'm gonna take that as a compliment from now on, because my boy, to see our boy Namor from Atlantis, his own version, and the outfits looks so fucking beautiful. The whole costume design, like, they look very on the nose of what it looks like, a person that is still with the old heritage of what you are under. See, you're not with society always changing every fucking damn 20, 30 years with his culture, or every 10 years with his style of music and everything. But he's such an old school person. And for anybody that said that he's not built, go to the gym and work out, do a regimen, see how that easy is, and then get criticism from people online saying you're not built enough to play this role. I'm sorry, my guy. Who the fuck are you? You're just a person that's telling me what I'm doing is right or wrong. I'm sorry.
Again, people will complain about anything, man. It really doesn't matter. But this trailer was so powerful. I can't wait to get the first full trailer. As soon as that drops, we'll do another breakdown of that. Can't wait to see where this goes. And like Vash was saying, like, this teaser trailer is a movement, man. It's so much more than a teaser trailer, so much more than promo for a movie. Like, this is a movement for anyone that was affected by Black Panther in a positive way. So I can't wait for this movie. Like, listening to the cast and Ryan Coogler talk about losing Chadwick and having to make this film without him, but making it a testament in his honor. Like, very, very excited for it. So, but let's.
I think. Oh well.
No, go ahead.
I was about to say something like, she says, "I lost my son."
Yeah.
I just don't know. Is this going to be a snap movie? Is this a movie that may have happened during the snap, and that's the loss? Because we know Wakabi is not going to be in this movie as well. And was he snapped away? Was T'Challa snapped away? And we don't know very much of anything with the storyline. So that's something that I'm like still theorizing, and maybe that some of this is taking place while people are snapped away, possibly. Because she never said technically my son died. She said lost. So maybe Possibly. I don't know.
It's definitely possible. I will not
It's
say
very
that
vague.
it's not out of the realm of possibility. If the leaks that we read are real, it was some kind of like disease that killed T'Challa. So it's like that would kind of take away from the snap theory, but it's a leak. We have no idea if it's real. We have
Fair
no
enough.
idea what the official word is. And Steve, that's actually a really interesting idea. And I know we've talked about it before, but it's just like, what if it does take place during the snap so that they don't have to explain anything really? You know, he's technically still gone,
Yep.
and
Because we know that can
Wakanda,
happen.
yeah, Wakanda would have to stand on their own without their king. You know, it would be a lot of pressure on them to do all of this during this war with Atlantis. So it's definitely interesting. You know, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but yeah, we can definitely talk about it a lot more once we, get the first official trailer. So let's move into Phase 5. Kevin Feige gave us the entire slate for the MCU Phase 5. I thought this was awesome. This was a great reveal. We're also going to get more shit at D23 whenever that drops, so very excited for that. So the film kicking off Phase 5 of the MCU, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I am so fucking hyped for this movie. This film drops on February 17th, 2023. MODOK has been confirmed for this film. Bill Murray is going to be a part of the cast. That's who knows what he's going to do in that film. And this is the first time we're going to see Jonathan Majors as Kang the fucking Conqueror. Now, we have speculated for a long time that Kang's base of operations was in the quantum realm. When Paul Rudd was asked about the film, he's like, well, we're going to spend a lot of time in the quantum realm. So it's like, I'm thinking more than ever that Kang's realm is in the quantum realm, outside of space, outside of time, where he can do whatever he wants. And I think that's where we're going to spend a lot of this film. I am beyond hype for Quantumania. Just a little bit of Jonathan Majors that we got in Loki absolutely blew me away, and that was just He Who Remains. He isn't even acting like Kang the Conqueror. So I can't wait to see the performance that Jonathan Majors puts into Kang the Conqueror himself when we see him in the film. So Vash, starting with you, what's your excitement level for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, knowing that it's going to be the film that kicks off Phase 5?
For the one that kicks off Phase 5, I'm damn well excited because I think they recently just announced it today or yesterday, saying that Kevin Feige or Paul Rudd said that this is going to be a left turn out of the Ant-Man films. Is it going to be very different? And I like that because in the past two films, it's been like a comedy type of crime heist. Now for the third film, are they doing like a reverse crime heist? Like, are they gonna rob Kang? Like, are you sure this is a smart idea? So I'm very curious to know what is the inclination of how they find Kang the Conqueror. We saw a city in the ending of Ant-Man 2. We saw a city there. Everyone's like, "Oh, is that Kang? Is that the lost city and everything? Is that the microverse?" But I know that Marvel don't have the rights to that no more, so I forgot what's the current name for it. The top of my head. But I'm damn excited to see, and I hope my boy Luis is there because I want to hear by the end of this film the whole recap of what happened in Quantumania. So like, yo, so guys, so we went to Microverse. This happened with our guy in a blue helmet. Like, I just can't imagine the speed talking and explanation of what happened in that film. But overall, MODOK, I'm damn well curious how a big head is gonna look on the VFX side, and also once they said that we're gonna be in the Quantumania, like in the whole microscope aspect, I'm like, damn, yeah, the quantum realm. I'm like, damn, I hope the VFX takes a break because they're technically working on this right now until February 17th. So best of luck because right now they're working on all those VFX because I bet you 80% of that film is done on a green screen.
Hopefully they use the volume. I think for something like the Quantum Realm, it would look way better on the volume than on green screen. So let's hope they use the volume. And
they got the money.
For everyone else that answered that wanted to know, so Cassie Lang, she's Stature in the comics. So that's who Cassie's going to be in the film, that was a really good surprise for me. I'm glad that Cassie's going to get her own suit. She's going to get to fight alongside her dad and then eventually become one of the Young Avengers, which I think is going to be one of the films, or actually I think it's going to be a Disney Plus series that they announced for Phase 6. So can't wait to talk about that.
So like me and Rob was in the comments. We kind of like, we saw something trailer wise for it, allegedly. And so we were like, oh, okay, cool. And with Black Panther being with Wakanda Forever being the end of the phase, and then the phase starting with the Ant-Man 3, Rob kind of touched on it, and he was saying that he believes that an incursion happens at the end of Black Panther, which would lead right into this Ant-Man film, which to me, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense, especially because, incursion happens, Kang. So shout out to Rob for that. I'm excited for it. From what I saw of Jonathan Majors, hopefully he's going to be giving us the dialogue that we deserve. We won't get a gore to God butcher treatment. So we'll get some dialogue that we really, really deserve because, yeah.
And plus his costume looks great as well. I can't wait to see his costume on the actual trailer because I saw the leak as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on the official poster. He looks great.
Yeah. Allegedly, you saw the leak. You didn't see it, Vash.
Yeah, of course. But I'm talking about like him actually moving within the costume as well. I saw, so that was like actually not looking bad or rookie day. Like said costume of his looks very good. Like the whole green, purple, and the blue helmet. I can't wait to see it.
That's the thing. I'm glad that he won't be blue.
Yeah,
he's going to look like a black man, which is good.
Agree. Same here.
So very, very excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Can't wait to see Kang the Conqueror and where it's going to go. And we're going to see a lot of fucking Kang. So we got a couple more announcements here. There's not a lot of information on the rest of these, so we'll fly through a couple of these pretty quickly. So next up, we got Secret Invasion. That's dropping in spring 2023. Secret Invasion is going to star Samuel L. Jackson, Kobe Smulders, Ben Mendelsohn, Emilia Clarke, and Olivia Colman, who is supposedly going to play someone from that used to work with Fury in his past. So that's going to be interesting there. Kobe Smulders did briefly talk in an interview where it's going to be a mystery of who can you trust. Are you the person that you say you are? Are you a Skrull? So it's going to be constantly trying to figure out these people in positions of power, if they've been replaced by these factions of Skrulls to take over. So very excited for Secret Invasion. I loved that arc in the comics. That was fucking sick. Who knows who's going to be a Skrull in this? The president could be a Skrull. For all we know, Thunderbolt Ross could have been a Skrull. Maybe this is just spitballing, but maybe this is a way that, they give a good ending to William Hurt, where it's like, well, Thunderbolt Ross, the real one, he passed away a long time ago, and we've been dealing with a Skrull this whole time, right? They could do that. I kind of hope they don't, because I want them to give him a better send-off than that, but it's possible, right? But
Robert Downey Jr. was a Skrull.
Yeah, you could do whatever. You could debunk that, because technically when he died, he would have turned back into a Skrull form, so you can't do that technically. But you could do some weird shit where you really don't know who's a Skrull. So Vash, starting with you, what's your excitement level for a Secret Invasion?
I hope the president is a Skrull, just like in the comics, because it literally happens. I hope it is. That's just my hope. I just want that, because I'm like, oh shit, I like the comic, the president. We've been having a fake president the whole time, fake news. So that'll be pretty funny. Overall, for Secret Invasion, I'm excited for it. Our boy Nick Fury, aka Samuel Jackson, still almost hitting 80 years old and still spitting these MCU dollar bills out here. So my boy ain't giving up. He's like, yo, so you tell me do the last films I gotta do until I pass? Oh shit, let's go. Shit easy. I don't gotta do no action. Just say motherfucker and just speak. Let's go. So I'm excited for this. For Secret Invasion, Skrulls, we haven't seen much of them in the comics. I mean, much of them in the MCU or in live action or in the most recent year of cartoons. The only time we saw them was in the Avengers cartoon of Earth Mightiest Heroes from 2010 to 2015. We saw them in the last 2 seasons of that storyline, or I think the last 3 seasons. So can't wait to see what they bring up within the MCU, and can't wait to see what fans get mad about and say what's not right or what's not correct within the storytelling of the Skrulls. Because it's always funny when they scream. It's just for entertaining because they came to talk about one other series about that too.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna love this. Just like not knowing and trying to predict who is a scroll and who's not a scroll. It's gonna remind me a lot of what's it called? Peacemaker with the
Yeah,
butterflies,
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of situation. So seeing that is going to be very interesting of trying to figure that out. Hopefully Colston was a scroll, and Colston will be back,
That's
which
how we bring him back.
yeah.
Yes.
So Colston will
Yes.
be back or something like that. Or even if they just show him in flashbacks just to give us a little, fan service and stuff like that, because everybody loves Colston. But yeah, I'm excited just to see this and then see Samuel L. Jackson and getting his own story as the MC for the most part of the story. I'm not sure how long they'll revolve it around, if they do 5 episodes with him and then a couple episodes with Cody Smulders. I think that's how I pronounced it right. If they do episodes where she's like the main character of it and stuff like that, or if they just make Nick Fury the main character for the entire time. But just seeing Samuel L. Jackson on screen again as like the main guy of as Nick Fury is going to be interesting, because like there were times where it was like, man, we're not getting Nick Fury in this and we're not getting Nick Fury in that. Even when snapped back, I don't think we got to see Nick Fury back until like maybe that funeral scene or something like that. But for the most part, we didn't
Yeah, the
get Nick
funeral
Fury
and
back.
Far From Home, that's about it. I mean,
Yeah.
we technically didn't even see our Nick Fury in Far From Home until the end.
Yeah, so it's like we haven't seen Nick Fury in a while, and I'm just interested to see what he's doing, what he's got going now, because the Avengers initiative has been built and they stopped, they saved the world, but it's like at this point, is he building them up again or trying to reassemble them because of what's going to happen? We just
I think he's
don't
building
know.
Sword, bro. I think that's the next step. He's building Sword.
That would be interesting. Like he already built Shield and now he's building Sword. Could
Yeah.
work. I would be interested. I just want to know all of the stuff that he finds, because there's so many things out there that I feel like they put out there into the Marvel universe and they kind of just let it go. And if you don't really like take the time to remember it, you kind of just like, oh, okay, well, I forgot that happened and stuff like that. Cause like there's still like a white vision out there that's just out. You know what I'm saying? There's other different things that's just out there. And we kind of just like shrugged it off or whatever and continued on with our lives. But you know that Nick Fury knows everything about everything that's going on. So I'm wondering if he's going to touch on these different things and stuff like that, which would be interesting.
Oh, you know you will. Like you said, he's got his eye on everything.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see this.
Yeah. All right, so let's hit Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So I was not the biggest fan of Volume 2, as you guys know.
Mhm.
I don't think it's a terrible movie. It's just not for me. I think much like Love and Thunder, there was just way too much comedy. There was just way too much jokes. It's just like, well, let's sacrifice story so that we can make this really, really funny bit, right? That's what these films have kind of turned into. Some of them, anyway. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, that's coming out on May 5th, 2023. And most of it is going to be kind of an origin story for Rocket. So we're going to spend a lot of time with like Baby Rocket. We're going to get Cosmo finally. And then the actor, I don't even want to try to butcher his name, but the actor that plays the leader of Peacemaker's team on Peacemaker, he has been cast as
Oh,
the High Evolutionary. So it's like that's gonna be fucking nuts.
okay. Mhm.
You know, because if
Okay.
you've played the Guardians of the Galaxy game, like they've interacted with the High Evolutionary, so it's like I'm excited. I'm tempering my expectations because, like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of Guardians 2, but Guardians 1 is still like top 10, top 15 for me in the MCU. So
Mhm.
I'm tempering my expectations. We'll see where it goes. James Gunn has also confirmed that this is the end of this current team of Guardians. He said that it doesn't mean that people are gonna die, but I think Drax is gonna die for sure. Dave Bautista has made it very clear that he's very fucking done with being Drax.
Mhm.
So like I think he's gonna die, and I think most of them might split up. You know, Mantis might go off and do something else. Rocket and Groot go off and do something else. Who knows if this version of Gamora will ever be with this version of Quill? Who knows where it goes? One thing that we saw, that I saw from a leak, is that Gamora is going to be the leader of the Ravagers. So that's going to be interesting to see Quill trying to interact with her, trying to build a relationship with this deadly version of Gamora that's still a daughter of Thanos. Even though she knows the thing that she was doing was wrong, she's still within that pocket of where she was still following Daddy's orders. So, Vash, starting with you, what's your excitement level for Guardians Volume 3?
You're on mute.
My apologies. It's not like me with James that I didn't hate Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I think it was still a good movie, just not as good as the first one. Thor 4, definitely not as good as any other films of the MCU. I just think it was bottom tier.
Yeah.
But for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it has me curious because James Gunn has been doing good so far with his content creation. But with this movie saying it's Baby Rocket Raccoon will appear, this is a Baby Rocket story. And like me, I'm playing the game. I have met the High Evolutionary. So it's pretty interesting to see that on the big screen now with the game and everything. So I'm pretty curious. More than anything, I'm curious to see what James Gunn puts this as his final act. And Dave Bautista, I'm sorry to say, but Drax in the MCU sucks. He's a laughing stock. The game, much better. He's a bloody damn warrior. My dude literally just stands there and eats chips and says he's invincible. Like, Drax, you're a cool dude. I grew up with you, watch wrestling, but I don't know if it's you or the script or choice to make this role like this.
Dave's actually a really good actor.
I know, but I'm just saying overall, I don't know if it like him at the time, he was still becoming a good actor. I'm just speaking overall. But like, Dave, Drax, I'm sorry to say it, but you leaving, nobody's going to miss you, my guy. So at the end of the day, you want to go, the door's right there. But I'm curious to see that once this cast ends and if James Gunn wants to do another version of Guardians of the Galaxy 4, I'm curious to know what's the end credit scene of like what is the next group of team or what's the next group of ragtag team? Is there gonna be a Star-Lord? I mean, a Guardians of the Galaxy with Nova? Like that's what I'm curious because we have known Nova in the comics to be also a leader in the Guardians, so it's gonna be pretty interesting on my end.
I think when Guardians 2 ends. And to your point, Sherwin, I think if Star-Lord does leave the team, because let's say it's possible that, let's say Gamora doesn't want to leave the Ravagers, and he decides to leave the Guardians since everyone else was leaving, and then maybe Drax is dead, maybe some other people are dead, maybe maybe Star-Lord and Nebula become Ravagers, and they're all with Gamora together, and Adam Warlock becomes the leader of this new Guardians team. Possible. I would love for Nova to be in there. We know that Nova's coming at some point, but we just don't know when, right? So I would love for Nova to be in there, and he could take over as a leader at some point. I also saw a leaked image of what's his name? I can't remember his name. That's playing Adam Warlock. I can't remember.
I don't remember the name in my head, but I saw the leaked image as well. It looks really nice.
Yeah, I can't remember his name right now. Chat, remind me. I know it's Will something, but
I'll grab it for you right now.
I think he looks pretty cool. Looks like he got jacked for the role. He's still gonna have that diamond in the middle of his forehead.
Oh,
what
yeah,
does it
yeah.
signify? Who knows? So I'm excited for that. Because Adam Warlock, I liked him in the comics, and then there's other versions of him in the comics that I don't like.
Is Will Butler?
Yeah.
Yeah. However you
I saw
pronounce
him
his last
jacked.
name.
I saw how jacked he got, and I was like, damn, he's
Yeah, he's
huge.
fucking huge.
Yo, he is huge. I remember seeing him in that movie, the comedy movie. I forgot what was the
Yeah, Will
name.
Poulter. Yeah.
He was
Will Porter.
you're talking
Oh
about the
yeah,
one with the
We're the Millers.
Yeah,
I
We're the
saw him
Millers.
in
yeah,
that.
Fucking
Miller.
hilarious.
Wow, that's 2013. 10 years later. Oh my god, he got built. He looks good now. Wow, props to him.
Mhm.
Oh. I'm
Yeah, I
sorry,
mean,
James.
he has a lot to fill into. But Steve, did you have any more thoughts?
So I don't, especially with the Christmas special coming out this year. So we're gonna get plenty of our Guardians of the Galaxy before they're gone forever. Um, because you got to see them a little bit in Thor: Love and Thunder. You're gonna see this Christmas special that they come out with. You'll probably see a little bit more of like What If or something like that, and then
For
it'll be
sure.
their final episode. I mean, their final thing together in Volume Three. Um, Drax, if you leave, like everyone else is saying, I mean, it is what it is. I would like more Bradley Cooper. I like Rocket Raccoon a lot. Hopefully he doesn't decide to leave. But I enjoy it. I mean, you're getting paid to voice act. You don't even
Yeah, he
actually
doesn't have to do much.
yeah. I like Groot as well. So Vin Diesel, don't leave the family. Um, but
Wow.
I, I I wouldn't mind Rocket Raccoon and Groot sticking around too. So maybe they do a Adam Warlock like you said, and Groot and Rocket Raccoon tag along, and
And
Groot
Nova.
and Nova. Yeah, I would, but I thought Nova. We were saying Nova was gonna probably no Nebula. Nebula is gonna go with
Yep, possibly. You never know.
yeah. But
It
I
would
mean
make sense. She would want to be with her sister. You know.
yeah, and then you got Manus and there's so many other characters out there, and you just don't know how they would break that team up. But
Yeah.
I have no idea what we're gonna get. And then, isn't you said Nova Sylvester Stallone, right?
No.
Well, wait,
He's
who's
a
Sylvester Stallone?
different character.
Okay,
Yeah, he's one of
um,
the like original Guardians. Star something. I think it was his character's name.
yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit into his character or whatever, and then maybe we could get him join Adam Warlock or something like that for a little bit. Not maybe not like as much of a in-depth character, but maybe like how freaking shit. Um, what's the guy's name with the flute? The blue one. You're muted, Vash.
Oh,
His
Kraglin.
name his name was Starhawk.
Yeah,
The
Starhawk.
Sylvester
yeah,
Stallone
Star something.
OG character. Starhawk, yeah.
Okay. And so what's
Yeah, Kraglin has the thing. He has
the
the
little
fin
flute
and he controls it.
yeah, so that's I wouldn't mind Sylvester Stallone in like a smaller kind of role like that, like where he's not like main character, but he's still in there and he's pretty like what I'm saying pivotal in a sense. Because I don't know how much I would want to see Sylvester Stallone in a Marvel movie like that. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know how.
think he only showed up so that James Gunn could show off the original core Guardians group from the comics. I
Yeah.
highly doubt we'll ever see them again, honestly.
Same.
You know,
I doubt it.
Yandu, that's his name. Good job.
Yeah, Yandu had it first and then Kraglin,
Yeah.
since Yandu's dead. But so let's move on to Echo. I have to admit, I'm excited for Echo, but I need more time with Maya. I didn't read the Echo comics that much, if I'm being honest. So it's
Mhm.
like I'm curious to see where it goes. Like, what are they gonna do, especially with the way that Hawkeye ends? Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are both set to star in the show alongside the lead actress. So
Mhm.
very curious about that. That's launching summer 2023. So we'll see where that goes. Steve, what's your excitement level for Echo?
Actually, so I didn't really have a lot of excitement for it, but recently my mom was catching up on the MCU and she was watching Hawkeye, and I was like, oh, I forgot how much I actually liked Echo. And then I remember the cliffhanger that we got with her shooting Kingpin, and however that was gonna go. But I'm like, oh, okay, that's gonna be interesting for when they do play off of it with Echo and Kingpin and Daredevil all returning for that show, and it's gonna be like we're gonna probably see a very fucking angry, you know what I'm saying, Kingpin. Like
A
I just got
blind one too, probably.
yeah, I just got shot and I'm pissed off and all. There's going to be a lot going on with that, and then we'll get to finally. Oh well, we'll see him in She-Hulk. So Charlie Cox is going to be busy in the next year or so. But yeah, I'm interested to see what we're going to get out of it. Like you said, I don't know much about Echo at all. But just what I'm saying, these different things and how you're going to see the continuity and everything like that, and some of the different things of how they play off of each other. Echo can't hear, Daredevil can't see, and possibly Kingpin won't be able to see as well. There's going to be a lot of different things that we're going to get to see of how they play off of each other and how they built the story.
Yeah. Vash, what's your excitement level for Echo?
That's honestly my opinion. Like, I'm okay with it. I'm excited, but like, Matt Murdock is there. My boy Kingpin is there, but those are things we knew already. So, other than that, didn't give any other more news other than saying that it's coming out next year summer. I'm like, okay, not a crazy rush. Let's say,
yeah. I mean, I'll be there. I'll watch the first episode. If it's good, I'll watch it week to week. If it feels like it's something I should binge, I'll do that. We'll see how it goes. Merc, I would love to see Echo show up in the Daredevil series, but it really all depends on what happens in her series, because we know that Daredevil comes after that. So let's continue. Loki season 2 drops also in summer 2023. Extremely excited about this. As you guys know, Loki season 1 is my favorite of the Disney Plus shows still to this day. I love Tom Hiddleston. He's amazing. The way that it was one of the first things to break open the multiverse, giving us He Who Remains, all of the different Loki variants, getting Sylvie, Kid Loki, all of the different things. Loki is a nerdgasm of things. So I can't wait for season 2, especially with the way that we know that the time loop has now changed. There is a new version of He Who Remains running the TVA. There is no longer, the three beings that make up the TVA. It is now Kang. He's running it, or whatever this version calls himself. So whatever we're going to get in this season is going to be interesting. Loki has to build that friendship and rapport with Mobius yet again, because he doesn't remember. Right? So Loki season 2 has a lot of potential to be amazing. I can't fucking wait for it. I'm sure at the end of this, much like you mentioned, Steve, in what was it where you were talking about the incursion, Ant-Man and the Wasp?
saying so he was saying at the end of Wakanda Forever we get an incursion, maybe like as an end credit scene or something like that, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp picks up with the incursion and go for there.
So we're gonna see a lot of incursions, because after we talk about Loki season 2, there was a leak that came out for the Marvels that talked about an incursion. So we know that we're leading towards the multiverse saga. We know that this ends with Secret Wars, which is the multiversal war. So all of these incursions, all of these different tears in the multiverse, this is all leading to the walls being broken down and to leaning towards the multiversal war. So, Vash, what's your excitement level for Loki season 2?
Out of the 12 projects out of Phase 5, this is my top 3. Loki, I'll tell my other 2 much later. But Loki season 2, damn excited. Do I know what to expect? Hell no. But do I see the things they might be including? Like, we know in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, we were supposed to see Thor's brother. There's a rumor that we might see Thor's brother in Loki season 2. So, like, do I have any expectation and curiosity? No, honestly, for Loki season 2, I just want to jump in and enjoy the ride like I did for season 1, because there's more is that MCU / Marvel Studios is doing their own twist of how they see the timeline, how they see the loop, how we see time travel aspect. So it's their own way of telling their interpretation of what they see, the way you time loop, the way you kill the person who's at the end of the world, but then once you kill him, we have a whole loop again. How would they tell us that, the audience explain it themselves? Like, how would we understand it, and how what Loki handled this. Like he had to befriend our boy Morbius again. So it's like round 2. And what are the next steps for him and our girl Sylvie, since they technically are a twin version of each other from a different multiverse, but at the same time they also like each other. So like, what is that going to happen with their dynamic / relationship moving forward in season 2? How is this going to connect to the outside world of them, of the MCU? Like, how's this going to connect to Kang the Conqueror from Ant-Man 3? How's this going to connect for the future of the Kang Dynasty? So all these questions, that's why I'm excited for season 2. But at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck of what I think. I'm excited just for the show itself out of all the other projects of Phase 5 itself.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting for sure. Besides like what we learned in season 1, like what else do you want to know about the loop?
With me in the loop is like, not that Kang don't have the 3 fake people showing in the time what's the office called?
The TVA.
I appreciate it, TVA. Like, now that Kang shows his true face, do they know that it's a guy named Kang? Do they know who he really is, or is he still lying but just showing his face now? And which version of Kang is this? It's more like, what is the time loop gonna look? Not that everyone don't know who they are again except Loki, and how is he gonna technically speed run this to Morbius? Like, is our boy Loki gonna do a Lewis? Like, all right, so this happened, and this happened, and this
God, I
happened,
hope
like a
not.
whole story comedy. So it just depends of
Not
what
with
Loki's
Owen
doing.
Wilson. Loki
With
and Owen Wilson having that
with
conversation will be so.
with Tom Hiddleston, I see him more doing a lot of hands movement and more of being angry and trying to explain this, and also a lot of yelling and screaming to Morbius. That's why I see him trying to explain. And then the Morbius like, I don't see it, my man. Like, it just depends
It just
how.
hits you with the wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really hope I pray
He's
to
just gonna
God
say
that doesn't
wow.
happen.
and please,
Wow.
season 2, he better say a wow. It's like,
No.
I hope so. I hope
Please
so.
Wow.
I hope.
fucking
Wow.
anyways. But it's like I would like to see, you know, how Loki and Sylvie will interact, knowing that the entire timeline that they've known is now rewritten. I would love to see how they, you know, how they deal with that. That'll definitely be interesting. Steve, what are your thoughts on Loki season 2?
I'm just excited for it. Seeing Kang, the setup that they did, they show that Kang's got you, and it's like that's the cliffhanger you leave us on. You see all this Kang stuff that's coming, with Ant-Man and the Wasp and things of that nature. I'm just like, okay, yeah, I need more. I can't wait for it to come out. I'm the same as you, JB. It was my favorite show, and then Moon Knight, and then so forth. But like Loki was my favorite, and it's just like I'm excited. I need more Tom Hiddleston. I'm actually surprised that we didn't even get like a my brother Loki type of situation in Thor: Love and Thunder, even though they didn't necessarily have to show him. But I don't even think they even like had him have some like, oh, my brother. Let me think about Loki or nothing like that. It's kind of
I
like he
mean,
just went on
he
with his
he
life.
mourned them for a long time, you know, in Infinity War and Endgame, and you know, it's been years. He's still depressed. Love and Thunder, he's still going through it. So it's like he's still processing all of those emotions. So it's like I
Mhm.
was okay with it.
Fair enough. But I'm just like, I want more. And
Yeah.
and I love that it's kind of like in its own kind of like pocket, like little thing, dimension thing or whatever that's going on. Because it's like other than Kang the Conqueror, we haven't got an inkling of any of these other characters from Loki in any of the other series. So I love that they're like in their own like little pocket envelope of their own like series or whatever. And I like that.
Yeah. I can't wait for Loki season 2. Again, this is probably my most anticipated of the Phase 5 shows, if I'm being honest, because just the possibilities are just endless here. So let's keep moving on to the Marvels. Now, I read a leak for the Marvels earlier today, and that leak made me so much more excited for this movie. I actually can't wait for this. It's dropping on July 28th, 2023. And apparently the film, if it's true, the film is going to go a little bit, not too deep, but a little bit deeper into the Bangles. Apparently the antagonist of the film is wearing the other bangle. So now that we know, we know where that is, if it's true. So it's a Kree villain that's using the other bangle and is essentially using it to open rifts into other dimensions in order to steal resources to rebuild Hala. And
Okay.
what makes it interesting, again, if it's real, is Carol Danvers is going to the Krieg has given her the nickname the Annihilator, right? Where because she destroyed Hala, right? Now they're a bad Kree, but they were innocent people as well. So she has to deal with the fact that yes, she took out a great evil, but she kind of ruined a planet for the rest of the people that live there. So she kind of has to live with the fact that she's saving people, but she kind of ruined this planet that these people are living on. So she's kind of seen as a villain, right? And then, you know, we've talked about this many times before. The dynamic between her and Monica is the fact that she left in 95, whatever the fuck it is, and Monica never saw her again. You know, her mom died. She never showed up. She never saw her again. So they're going to be playing around with these dynamics between these three women. And I'm going to send you guys the leaks once we're done if you're interested. But it's just, the story seems really interesting. And like I was mentioning, an incursion supposedly is going to happen in the film as well. So the Marvel is going to be playing with a lot of cosmic shit. We're going to learn a lot more again about the bangles and how it works. Apparently, something activating with the other bangle is what activated Miss Marvel and Carol to switch places. So Kamala is actually going to end up wherever Captain Marvel was, and vice versa. So the Marvels is shaping up to be something really interesting. So Vash, starting with you, what's your excitement level for the Marvels?
The Marvel is my number 4 of the Phase 5 out of the 12 properties that are being made of the live action and the TV shows. I'm thrilled for it because one, Iman, the way she literally has said that she has burner accounts to fight against the people on Reddit, it shows how much she's committed to the MCU and how much that she just loves the job she does. And she's also a fan like us. And for her to be on par with Brie Larson in a film, curious to see how that goes. Again, I'm on the same boat with James. Brie Larson, when I see her as Captain Marvel, I see more Brie Larson than the actual character that she's playing, which is not a bad thing.
She's good because she's a really good actress, but it's just like sometimes I wish I didn't see Brie Larson. I wish I just saw Carol, you know?
It's just the same thing like when you see The Rock. You know he's playing a role, but he's playing The Rock. Like each person, so like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. But I have read those leaks too, or seen on my timeline. I haven't actually read through them, but I have heard and seen content of said videos of those. But in other words, me and the team of the C4SVillains were right on our theories, or we're close to our theories of what we thought with the cliffhanger. For those that have not seen the cliffhanger or have not cared to see Miss Marvel on Disney Plus, you should see it. It's a very good show. But I can't wait to see the continuation of her story in the bangle. I'm happy to know it was a Blue Kree that still has it. It was an interesting theory of mine that I had a while back, and I'm glad to see it happening. It made the most sense for that to be the case, but it's really interesting to know what's next. How are we going to see her connected to this, and what other characters is she going to interact with? Because you cannot have her just transport across the whole galaxy, but have her just start a whole new chemistry with somebody else that she doesn't know. So I'm curious to see if we're going to see a Guardians member, Nova, the core. So it'll be pretty interesting. What other characters will we interact to for her to feel very well balanced?
Yeah, I think when we were watching Miss Marvel, it was very, very obvious that the bangles, the 10 rings, it's all ancient Kree tech, and it's all coming full circle. And I can't wait to see it in the Marvel. So that's going to be a really good time.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm like I said, I want to see it, and I'm more so just like ready to see Monica Rambeau. I just need more of her. like she's fine.
Yeah.
If we still were doing dips, let's shoot the dips.
Yeah, but she was amazing in WandaVision, and now she has her powers. Like, there was another part of the leak that said that she's gonna learn how to fly in this. So I can't wait to see the film. I can't wait to find out like what leaks were real, which ones weren't. So I love reading leaks. It's really cool to see again what made it in, what didn't make it in, what's all like headcanon stuff and all of that. So let's move on to the next announcement. We're gonna talk about Blade. Blade is coming on November 3rd, 2023. That one's going to star, as we know, Mahershala Ali as Blade, and I can't wait for this. If you can't get Wesley Snipes, you get Mahershala Ali. The guy already looks like Blade. If you've seen Alita Battle Angel, he just needs that suit with like a modded, haircut with the tattoos on the sides, and you got fucking Blade, bro. Like, Mahershala Ali is one of the greatest actors working today. I believe he has 2 Oscars for Best Supporting Actor, or at least 1 win and 1 nomination. The dude is just incredible, and I can't wait to see what he does. We've heard his voice at the end of Eternals, where Dane Whitman, he goes and he's standing in front of the sword, and we can hear Blade's voice. Are you ready for that, Mr. Whitman, or whatever he says? So I can't fucking wait for Blade. I think it's pretty obvious that we're going to see, even if it's just a cameo from Kit Harington as the Black Knight in this Blade movie. I can't fucking wait. Vash, what's your excitement level for Blade?
So out of phase 5 of these 12 content, Blade is my number 2. I'm damn excited. We have no idea what it's about. We have ideas, theories of the monster team, of the Midnight Suns, theories of what they could lead up to in the MCU. But I am thrilled for Blade. Mahershala Ali is fantastic as an actor. Can't wait to see what he does next for this film of Blade and his interpretation. And hopefully we see Wesley Snipes version in a What If. That's also an idea that I would like to see, or in a multiverse. But definitely would be dope to see Blade in what we get to see in the future, because can't wait to see his like his sword, the way he talks, the way he fights, his his vampire style. It just gets me all excited. I'm thrilled.
Steve, what's your excitement level for Blade?
Super excited. We're getting Blade. That's Mahershala Ali. I loved him as Cottonmouth in freaking Luke Cage. I loved him in fucking Alita Battle Angel as well. Loved him in freaking Moonlight or whatever. And I really, really like Mahershala Ali. I think he's a really, really good actor. And I think this is going to be really good for us to get to see him in this role. I don't think, have they still not announced Dracula yet?
No, they haven't.
We don't know anything about the movie yet.
But question.
Wesley Snipes,
Dracula. I totally forgot he was
I want
in
him
Luke
to be
Cage.
Whistler, bro. I want him to be Whistler. I want them to bring in Wesley Snipes as Whistler.
I think
that would work.
It would be fucking dope for him to be the mentor. It's a bit cliche because we've seen it a billion times before. But in this scenario, fuck it. Do it. Make him Whistler.
I love Wesley Snipes as villains and like Demolition Man and fucking New
Simon
Jack City.
Phoenix. Oh my God.
I love him as a villain. And then he's already knows martial arts as well. So a fight between him and Mahershala Ali would be fucking top tier. Like, I would love to see him and Mahershala Ali fight. And
it would be dope.
I think that would be dope to be. And like I said, seeing him even in this new Kevin Hart series, I can't remember what the name is anymore. But that new Kevin Hart series, he was acting his ass off. He's still fucking got it. He's still got it. And I would love to see him like in his role. But I wouldn't be mad at Whistler either. I think Wesley Snipes deserves to either like be a cameo, even if it's something small, or give him something huge like that. But he deserves it because like he saved Marvel basically with the Blade movies.
Facts.
So you have to put him in here some form of capacity. You have to put him in this movie.
We only have an MCU today because of Wesley Snipes.
Because of Wesley Snipes. Like him as Dracula would be like I would love that shit. I'd fucking I'd buy 3 tickets immediately. I'd buy 3 tickets and go to see that show 3 times just because just seeing his martial arts, him being a martial artist is just like that just sells me automatically on it.
But I was gonna ask you a question, guys. Luke Cage is part of the MCU, so
is it?
Since it's part of Disney Plus, in a way, kind of part of MCU. Like, do you think they're gonna?
Yeah, I think they make
just
that
because it's on Disney Plus doesn't mean it's a part of the
universe.
MCU.
Yeah, it's a different universe.
Owned by Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
True. It just depends. Now they adding the actress that played Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Kingpin. It just depends if they're gonna add Luke Cage. Like, does that make his character still the same from that?
We don't know. That's the thing. That's why we can't say, because we don't know. We have no idea. Especially with and we'll get into it, but especially with a title like Born Again. Who knows? Like, those Netflix shows could be another universe. Or not. I don't care either way, but we can't say definitively because we don't know. There is not single report, a single rumor that lets us know anything in either direction. We have no idea.
I feel like it's kind of got to be a different universe only because of the fact that the Defenders tie in together, which would make Cottonmouth Mahershala Ali and make him also Blade. So I just feels like that guarantees that there has to be a different universe.
Or maybe him dying got him bit by a vampire.
Oh God!
And then he became
no.
So we're changing Blade's origin now. Okay.
Yes. Let's go.
Cottonmouth. He turns into this. No. Like, yeah, it's definitely. I think it's just a different universe. That's what they got to roll with.
Yeah, I think that's the smartest thing for them to do, instead of trying to make that old continuity mix with the MCU continuity. It doesn't make any sense. Those shows have always been very vague about, like, the incidents, the guy in the costume, the guy in the purple spandex. It's always been very vague, so he doesn't have to. I'm good either way. Kevin Feige will figure it out.
Yeah.
Next up in Phase 5 is going to be Ironheart. We already know that we're going to get our first look at Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams in Wakanda Forever. Her series is coming in fall 2023. Can't fucking wait for that. I love Riri Williams. Again, some more black representation. Another genius out there in the MCU. So really, really excited for Ironheart. Vash, what's your excitement level for Ironheart?
I'm thrilled. I don't have too much expectation since I haven't yet finished her comic run. I think it was a 12 issue. I've only read to 8 to 10 of her introduction of her solo run thing back in 2016 and 2014. Was it? Other than that, I'm thrilled for her to get more black representation, more POC representation overall. And it's just great to see a character that they just have put, like Miles Morales, Miss Marvel, and plus Riri Williams has been out for less than 15 years, and these characters are getting more shine than other characters from DC Comics that has been out for 80 years, and we haven't gotten it. I'm just not throwing shade. I'm just pointing a point out there, guys. So maybe it's sub shade, but overall, Marvel knows what they're doing with this aspect, and I'm glad for the success that they're at least branching out. Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, they had the chance to walk, so our new characters could start jogging. I don't know where I'm going with this phrase, but it's the best thing I did here.
No, I mean, you're on the track, right? Because I mean, I'll bring up this image again from Riri from the Wakanda Forever trailer, but this is the spitting image of Tony working on his first suit in a cave in the very first Iron Man film. So you're right, it is coming full circle. You know, Tony Stark and all of the other Avengers walked so that these guys can run. You know, especially knowing that we're getting the Young Avengers at some point. Like, we're all going to get these different versions of where it all started with these other characters. So very excited for that. Steve, what's your excitement level for Ironheart?
I was reading the comment. Sorry, the Anthony Starr's Dracula, and that just almost. you know how I feel about Anthony Starr. That is sheesh. Okay, so Riri. I mean, I'm excited for it. Just seeing that she's genius level, and that I don't know much other than that she's super, super smart. She's Tony Stark's protege, and that's pretty much all I really know about Riri. So I'm interested to see what we get in Wakanda Forever, and then once we see that, that'll build up my excitement for Ironheart. I don't really know much about the character at all. I don't know comic book runs or anything, so I'm just going to be going in kind of blindly outside of what we get in Wakanda Forever, and maybe that'll make me do some research and go read into on some comics. But for me, I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. I was when I going in, I was skeptical on Miss Marvel, that TV series, and it turned out to be really, really good. So give me Riri. Like, you know what I'm saying? At this point, I don't feel like Marvel is really just gonna just put out some doo doo or a TV series. Maybe for Love and Thunder, but not for an entire series. Not for an entire series. So I hopefully, it ends up being pretty good. So that's my excitement level of really just kind of shaky. I don't know much.
Check out Invincible Iron Man. She has a really good arc in that story.
Okay.
Yeah, really, really good arc. So next up, we got Agatha, Coven of Chaos. We knew this was coming off the heels of WandaVision. That's going to be hitting winter 2023, of course, starring Catherine Hahn. So very, very excited to see Agatha come back. Catherine Hahn is an amazing actress, and her performance as Agatha on the show was hilarious, terrifying, all at the same time. So I can't wait to see where her character goes. Like, obviously, we can speculate that she's so powerful that she's able to break Wanda's spell. Maybe what happens to Wanda at Wundagore was able to break Wanda's spell and she remembers everything and now she wants revenge. It could go a couple different ways. So, Steve, starting with you, what's your excitement level for Agatha, Coven of Chaos?
I'm excited. There's got a different title name because wasn't it? I don't even remember. It was just called Agatha or something
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
it was just called Agatha.
Yeah, so they gave it a whole title and everything like that. So I'm interested to see if that's going to play into anything. We've already seen an origin story pretty much of her. So I'm wondering, it's got to be something where they pick up off of and just fall in more into that character. Maybe we can finally get that elusive Mephisto. Maybe that's who she works for or something like that, or that's who she'll answer
Mephisto
to.
confirmed.
Already in 2022. But yeah, like you never know if we can get that's something that she works who she someone that she works for or something like that. Do we get more Wanda like as she goes to go hunt down Wanda, or do we even get this white vision that's just been floating around? Maybe he can be the anti-hero or whatever to this or whatever. So you never know what you're gonna get. I'm excited for it just because of the fact that WandaVision was done so well and she was done so well. I'm wondering what we're gonna get and different spells that she can cast and like build off of and stuff like that. Darkhold is no more.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of stuff that, you know what I'm saying, that can make this like a real interesting show. So I'm actually intrigued.
Vash?
I don't care. I know it sounds brutal, but
What?
not saying I don't care about the show, but once we see a trailer, once we see more of a synopsis, then I'd be like, okay, where are we going with this series? But out of this 12 properties being made in phase 5, this is number 12. Not saying I don't give a fuck. Not saying I'm not gonna watch it. I'm gonna still do coverage. I'm gonna still talk about it and everything overall. But it's more like, okay, cool, I got that. But like, is it 6 episodes or 2 episodes? Is it 3 episodes? Are you going to tell reasoning? Is this how you're going to? Is she mad that Wanda, the chaos is gone and she's going to probably, do some type of mummy, some type of Frankenstein, like reborn, come back, our queen of chaos or something? I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas. I'm just spitballing here. But at the end of the day, I'm just keep it blunt. I don't give a fuck.
This number 12 behind Echo. Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. All right, cool.
Interesting.
All right, so moving on, we got Daredevil Born Again. We don't have an official release date for this just yet. We know that we're getting 18 episodes, which is a huge departure from what we've seen with the other Marvel Disney Plus shows. So I'm really glad that Marvel is at least trying to keep it in the same vein of what we're used to. We saw 20 episodes of like hour-long episodes of Daredevil. So audiences want the same type of thing. So getting 18 episodes of Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio again Sign me the fuck up. I am so ready for Born Again. We're gonna see him in She-Hulk. We're gonna see him in Echo. I'm sure that's not going to be the only two things that we see Charlie Cox in before we get his own series again. So, Steve, what's your excitement level for Daredevil Reborn? Born Again. Sorry.
As I said, Charlie Cox is about to be crazy busy this next couple of years, or at least he's already been busy, and we're just now getting to see it. But we're going to see a lot of freaking Daredevil, which I'm actually excited for it. Him and Vincent D'Onofrio playing off each other was really, really good in the series on Netflix. So seeing it for this 18 episodes, I'm assuming we're going to get a mid-season finale and we're going to get a break in between that. So it'll be like 9 episodes and 9 episodes, or these are actually 30-minute episodes and not hour-long episodes or something like that. But 18 episodes is like, sheesh. I'm wondering what kind of storyline they're about to build for 18 episodes. And if they're going to bring back, I don't think they're going to give us an origin again, especially because this is coming out after Echo, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah. I'm wondering what we're going to get for 18 episodes, honestly and truthfully. And like you said, sign me the fuck up. Maybe they do decide to introduce, Jessica Jones or stuff like that again, like this is cameos or something like that. Or maybe they introduce them fully into the show and that's why it's 18 episodes, because it ends up turning into this crazy Defenders thing at the end or something. Who knows? But 18 episodes is like they got a plan in place and they plan on really, really, grinding it out. So I'm excited for that. Like anything Vincent D'Onofrio, sign me up for it.
Facts, bro. And Mark, I definitely think they'll bring back Bullseye. I don't think that these shows are going to be in the same canon as the Netflix universe. I think there's just too many things with like the events and like when these shows took place versus the MCU timeline. I think there's too many things that are different in order to go off of that. I think it would be much easier to be like, hey, that was an alternate universe. All the Marvel shows were a different Earth 453. Who gives a shit? Right? And then this is the version of these characters that live within the MCU. It's similar. They have similar dynamics, but the story arcs are different. I think that's the most important thing. As long as the characters are the same, the dynamics, as long as all of that's the same, I don't think people will care that much that it doesn't continue off the heels of season 3 where it goes, right? Because we've seen from Hawkeye, the stuff that Kingpin was into, it wasn't a part of the Netflix show, right? Like it's a little bit different. Like, yes, it's all mob shit, so it could be interconnected, but it's clearly a little bit different. So we'll see where it goes. Vash, what about you? What's your excitement level for Daredevil Born Again?
Is my number one out of the 12 properties of Phase 5. Yeah. Is like, Daredevil Netflix. If you have not watched, as a person who works in production, you watch this one take. It's not really one take, but it's well edited, well cut, well done. That makes it look like one take. On each of those 3 seasons, we see a different style of Daredevil, his suits, his chemistry between Kingpin, his role. Charlie Cox is such a well person to play blind, knows how to do his character and everything. I would love to see our boy Foggy return as well, because at the end of season 3, they're going to make the Foggy and Nelson on firm with the other chick, Karen. I think that's her name, right? Karen actually is Karen. Yeah, okay, cool. I just didn't want to say like a regular white name or something, and everything here.
Karen.
Yeah, that's if it continues.
Yeah, so it just depends with this character and everything. But the one thing that threw me off, you jump from a 6-episode type of continuation that they did for Phase 4 of the TV content to 18. It's like, okay, you didn't jump to 12 to 10 to maybe 16. You jumped to 18. So that's telling me that y'all have a game plan for this show. Y'all have the script ready. Y'all at least have the outline. Yeah, maybe are not done with script for each episode, but y'all at least have the outline. Because 18 episodes is not saying there's a random number, but at the same time, please, for the love of God's sake, do not make 18 episodes feel worthless. What I mean by that, guys, because a TV network episode count is usually 18 to 25. And sometimes out of those 18 to 25 episodes, 3 or 4 of them feel like they were kind of filler, like they were just not really moving the plot along.
People don't make TV like that anymore, except the CW that's still in the fucking dark ages.
So my hope is that yes, we trust in Kevin Feige, we trust in MCU. They done a lot more hit more than misses. The ratio is very high than low. But my only concern is that 18 episodes, hopefully they know what to do for each of those numbers of each of those episodes. Hopefully it's not like 30 minutes per episode. Hopefully it's a nice 45 to an hour like it was on Netflix content. And if it's possible, maybe get the same people that were headed departments in those type of seasons over the Netflix side, so they can at least know what they were doing at the time, where they could transition that and just improve it on the MCU / with the Disney Plus style. All I'm hoping for is that those 18 episodes are a banger each episode. I'm not saying I have high expectation, but the same thing like Steve said, bring back Jessica Jones through it. Luke Cage, if you need to transition, maybe that's why I have 18 episodes. You're gonna it definitely has to be Punisher. Luke Cage and Iron Fist, it depends on Ken Feige if you want to, but if Luke Cage, definitely. Iron Fist depends on you. You could just recast or do a better way or however you want to, or definitely you don't need to. You got Shang-Chi, you're good.
I think the actor's fine. He just wasn't given any time to actually train.
Exactly, agree.
And I don't think the writing was good for Iron Fist. I enjoyed the first season. I haven't seen the second season, but I think the first season's fine. It's just it's not written that well. And Luke Cage season 2, I thought that was fucking horrible. That's probably the worst season of anything of the shows on Netflix. In my
I didn't even try it. I didn't even finish or try to.
It's fucking horrendous.
Yeah, I watched it, but I didn't.
But yeah, very excited for Daredevil, Born Again. Can't wait for that series. Can't wait to see what they do with the 18 episodes. Like Vash said, I'm hoping that it's 45 to 50 minutes per episode. I think that would be awesome. I think that's the right thing to do, but we'll see whenever it drops, and we'll see whenever we get some more information. So moving on to the next one, we got Captain America New World Order. I believe New World Order was actually the name of the very first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But of course, it's going to star Anthony Mackie. That's right, THR. It's going to star a black man as Captain America. Chris Evans isn't coming back. Anthony Mackie's Captain America. Thank you very much. And that is going to drop on May 3rd, 2024. I am very excited for this. Obviously, we're going to see a Cap Bucky team up again versus Sharon Carter, who is, what was her code name on Falcon and Winter Soldier again? The Power Broker. I can only assume that the Power Broker will be one of the main antagonists of Cap 4. So I'm very, very interested in that. So
James, you're right. The first episode is called New World Order in the show on Disney Plus.
Yeah. So Steve, starting with you, what is your excitement level for Cap 4?
I'm super excited. We're about to see a black Captain America. And you're gonna see like him still, like, now we saw him in suit at the end of the season. We saw everything that built up to him being Captain America, and now we're seeing him as Captain America in a movie, and we're going to actually get to see that, and him and Bucky team up, things of that nature. I'm excited to see how they're going to do this and how they're going to play it, because I'm wondering what kind of missions they're going to put him on, things of that nature. Everybody's going to have to accept the fact that he is Captain America in America now. And he's like, because he's accepted it now, it's going to be the vice versa, the flip side of the rest of America accepting that he's Captain America. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it maybe not be super accepting, but it's going to be interesting how they play that in the movie. I'm definitely excited to see it. I'm excited to see what they do as far as a villain. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with any of the Falcon as Captain America. I can't remember his
Sam Wilson.
Sam Wilson. I'm not familiar with any Sam Wilson Captain America comic runs, so I don't know what villains we're gonna get, or if it's just gonna be Power Broker like you say it, or what. But I'm not familiar with anything of that. But I just want to see it because Falcon and Winter Soldier was fucking good. I really fucking liked it. So let's continue off to where we left off.
Yeah, if you're going to do another trilogy, I think maybe starting off with the Power Broker would be interesting. I don't know how you would make her like a big enough like, because I mean what she's doing, she's corrupting the government from the inside all over again, right? Like
Mhm.
selling government secrets and weapons and all types of shit. So it's like it would be cool to watch him, interact with that, but I would like to see him like, have like another antagonist in the film, but I don't know. I hope we get, more details pretty soon on that. But Vash, what's your excitement level for Cap 4?
I'm excited as hell. Cat 4, the show. THR, if you did coverage for the show, why the hell did you not understand that he literally became Captain America? He literally said it when one of the goons said, "Who are you?" I'm like, "I'm Cap, bitch." He didn't say bitch, but he just said, "I'm Captain America, motherfucker. Like, I am the guy." So it's pretty dope to see finally the title reveal, the name reveal, and see what's coming forward for this movie. What is Who's the villain? How is our boy the U.S. agent gonna be part of it? How is our boy the Winter Soldier gonna be part of it as well? Like he's still, the sidekick, like Captain America, but
Do you see Bucky as a
is
sidekick still?
no, no,
Interesting.
no. I'm not saying me, but I'm saying to the Captain America when they first started in the comics and in the movie was like a sidekick, but now they're more like pals and equals. It's more of them as a character as a duel. But I'm just curious to see what the movie and the main villain for it to be not like a season two, but then to be a movie. What made them to change, and I can't wait to see that. So it just gets me excited to see what's coming next for that movie. And I'm just happy for Anthony Mackie. This is such a great thing for him. I know he must be proud. He must be happy doing this. And my dude, if you need money, just hit up Paul Rudd. Like, because in the movie, he has a book. He's famous. He's rich.
Yeah.
If the bank will not loan you money, I know your other friend at the Avengers will. My boy Paul Rudd will. He's a celebrity. He could just spring you a bit of those dollar bills out there.
Yeah,
It's just save that family home.
there was a leak that kind of alluded to that he's kind of like drunk off of the celebrity. But I mean, again, we don't know if any of that stuff is real. But Steve, did
Yeah.
you go? Did you already go in your thoughts on Cap 4?
Yeah, I
Yes, he
already
did.
did.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's move on to Thunderbolts since we were just talking about US Agent. So
Mhm.
Thunderbolts, that's going to be dropping July 26, 2024, and it's pretty much going to be the MCU Suicide Squad. So we already know what this film is going to be. We're going to get this ragtag group of enhanced people to go on secret missions for the government that we can't talk about, right? Potential members include Zemo, Yelena Belova, Ghost, Taskmaster, Abomination, US Agent, and we've even heard that Bucky could potentially be a part of that team. I don't know. I personally don't think he will,
Yeah.
based on what we've seen, but I think it would be really cool at the same time if he does. So, Steve,
Mhm.
starting with you, what's your thoughts on the Thunderbolts? And on top of that, actually, Thunderbolts is actually the cap. It is the end, the official end of Phase 5 of the MCU. So, what do you think about Thunderbolts as a film, and what do you think about it closing out Phase 5 of the MCU?
So, I want to see Thunderbolts just because it's kind of like a team of like, in a sense, I guess, vigilantes and anti-heroes or whatever they're gonna go with for this thing, or if they're gonna do villains that are trying to change their lives around. Whatever they decide to do, I'm interested in seeing it. Maybe this is the reason why we're getting the nice Hulk, so we can get to see Abomination rage out and go crazy. Fine. I'm excited to see some form of destruction. So hopefully Abomination can give us that. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get to see that. I don't think Bucky will be in it after going through all that he just went through in Falcon Winter Soldier and everything else in the series or
Right.
whatever. I don't feel like we're gonna get Bucky, but if they did, interesting. He'll be like the Rick Flag, I guess, of the team. And I mean, other than that, like I don't really I don't know much about the Thunderbolts other than they're like a group of villains they're trying to quote unquote do the right thing, but doing the right thing without caring about killing per se. So they're like anti-hero, you know,
Yeah.
mischievous villains or whatever, misunderstood villains or whatever.
Group of
So
anti-heroes doing shady shit for the government. You know how it goes.
yeah, so pretty much that's all I really know about them. I mean, that being the finale of the phase, though, I'm like, how does that work with incursions and everything? But in Feige, we trust.
Right. You know, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, well, if Cap 4 was maybe the end, who knows? But it's just like,
Mhm.
okay, Thunderbolts, that's the end. Okay, maybe there could be an incursion. Obviously, we're gonna get a mid-credit and a post-credit scene, so it's like that'll be
Mhm.
the two new things to set up Phase 6. So it's like that's gonna be interesting. Vash, what about you? What are your thoughts on the Thunderbolts?
So there's two people I'm more curious to know why they're there. Is a girl Yelena. Two is boy Bucky Barnes. Unless Bucky Barnes gets told by the government that, hey, the world has forgiven you, but us, we haven't forgiven you. The countries that you have hurt haven't forgiven you yet
Mhm.
fully. We need you to be the leader of this rat attack team, and we'll forgive you after this. That is more
Well,
passable.
Zemo's the
Or
leader.
I'm just throwing ideas of why, like maybe where Bucky gets an order from the government, but then Zemo has, get told by something, the power broker, or gets told by the other chick that's replacing um the Thunderbolts. I forget
Yeah,
her name. The,
Valentina, whatever her name is. Yeah.
yeah, her. So it's just maybe that being the case of why there's a rumor about what Bucky Barnes being part of the team.
I don't
That's
think
just
he
my
will though.
guess,
Cause,
but I
cause
hope not.
again, Zemo's confirmed to be the leader. He's gonna be pulled out of
Yeah.
prison to be the
Okay, so if it's
leader.
confirmed, then
So it's
fine.
like the rest of this list is all up in the air. Nothing else is
Yeah.
confirmed besides like Zemo and Abomination, right? So everything else is just up in the air. Just like these are just potential member and a U.S. agent. We know that
Yeah.
U.S. agent is gonna be there for sure.
Well, well, overall, U.S. Agent makes sense. He is part like that in the comics. That is his role. That's his character. Abomination, like Steve said, if it makes sense for his character to still break out because of She-Hulk and everything, um, and it will make maybe Hulk try to find him, maybe find other Hulk type of villains inside the roster, and maybe inside Thunderbolts. That'd be pretty interesting. We could find the Absorbent Man. That'd be a pretty interesting character to be in the Thunderbolts. Um, but that's my overall thoughts for Thunderbolts. Phase 5. Look, Kevin Feige, I know that you wanna continue this route of phases or technique of we're gonna talk about it in a few of the sagas. But my dude, we work in this work that 80 hours or less people work in the VFX department. Yes, they work at home or they work in the office. Back then, day 12 properties of content within a 3-year span, which they're probably working currently this year, next year, and 2024. Like, that's a lot of content. At the end of the day, people are getting paid, but then at the end of the day, you're probably understaffed sometimes. People are not unionized, and also a lot of people that are working don't have a contract. They're partly freelance. So that's just my point of view as a person who works inside this industry and in the special effects slash VFX world. But at the end of the day, it's like as long as these people within the MCU are getting paid and getting done what they need to, then go for it. But at the end of the day, can't find it. Not everyone is asking for a Marvel content every 3 months or every 6 months. But if you have a couple, there's fine to be re-room. You did it within 10 years of Iron Man to Avengers Infinity War / Endgame. So you know what you're doing, but at the same time, think about other people within your company. That's all I'm saying.
So I mean, sure, Feige is definitely the head, the president of Marvel Studios. I don't think Feige makes all of those shots.
Oh,
So
of
it's
course
so
not.
it's, so it's just like yes, they're definitely getting paid, but they're underpaid and overworked. And as a human being, it's just wrong. Like it's
Yes,
just
that.
it's not
Mhm.
fair. It's not right. Like people
I
need
guess a great
time
job,
off. It's
to
like
yeah, it's a great job to tell your family, like, yeah, I work for Marvel, but at the same time, you're not always there for your kids' games, to spend time with your partner, to be,
Facts.
taking vacation days all the time. Like, hey, you can't take that vacation because we need you to do the deadline. The movie comes in 2 months, so we need you. Like, those type of things is like, is out of your control. At the end, James said it correctly. It's like he's not in control of everything, but with the release dates and everything, like they're so close. People are like spread thin. Everyone has different deadlines. People, things there. Time move fast. So that's all I'm saying from my opinion is like, hey, we gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta pay the bills. But at the end of the day, we're also human. We also get burnt out. As much as a job is fun, sometimes knowing the job is fun, we also get lazy to go to work.
You're
We also
still
like,
getting paid to do a job. It kind of just is what it is. If you don't want to do it,
yeah,
go home and someone else will do it. That's not an excuse to halt production or to like not have as many projects per year. I'm not with that. I am all for 3 movies per year. I'm all for give me 6 fucking shows on TV. I want it all. Like, if you won't do the work, someone else will. Again, I am not for underpaying people for their work. They should be paid what they deserve, but it is what it is. Like, these projects need to come out. This is what the plan is. If you can't hack it, fucking leave. Like, I'm sorry. I am empathetic, but it's like at the same time, leave. You're not going to because you're getting paid well. But like, but Sherwin, like, I personally don't feel the oversaturation. I'm used to comics where it's like you'll have one superhero that has like 7 to 10 fucking titles per year, Batman. So it's like I'm not fazed by this at all. I want more. Fuck it, give me 5 movies per year. Like I don't give a shit. Like 1 movie per quarter is pretty good right now. Like I'm good with that, but like I personally don't feel it. I think the things that we'll learn at D23 will just get more information because they've been filming Secret Wars. I think Secret Invasion, I mean. So I think we'll get some actual footage from that, some actual footage from Echo and like Loki season 2. We might get some more reveals from films and TV shows that are coming out in Phase 6. So I personally don't feel it because I'm eating right now as a fan. Again, I'm used to the comics. Where again, like this year alone, I think there's already been like 6 different Batman runs. There could be more. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm good. And they're gonna keep coming. So that's gonna wrap up MCU Phase 5, moving into Phase 6, kicking off Phase 6 of the MCU is going to be Fantastic Four. Very excited for this. Very excited for Fantastic Four to be the film to kick off Phase 6, that is the last phase of the multiverse saga. Very excited for this. I can't wait for us to get Doom. Can't wait for us to get the Fantastic Four. That film begins filming next year, and it's going to be released on November 8th, 2024. Beyond excited for this. I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan. Dr. Doom is my favorite Marvel Comics antagonist. So I already know, like Steve said, like we've been saying a million times, in Feige we trust. So I know they're going to get a really good cast. There's rumors all over the place saying they've actually already cast the Fantastic Four. They're just keeping it all under wraps. Who knows if that's true? But I'm very excited for this. This is one of my most anticipated projects for the rest of the multiverse saga. So Steve, starting with you, what's your excitement level for Fantastic Four and it kicking off Phase 6?
I'm super excited about it. Seeing all the John Krasinski isn't going to actually be Mr. Fantastic. That was a one-time. Yeah, people were saying that that's supposed to be a one-time thing, and I don't agree. I feel like the only people that look different so far in the multiverse has been Spider-Man, and that's because there were
and Pietro.
Oh yeah, well Pietro. I forgot about that. But for the most part, like Spider-Man's, they came out first, so that's before they even introduced multiverse. And well, yeah, even with the Pietro thing, those Fox movies of X-Men, it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, they did their own thing. So I'm okay with those. But for the most part, most of the people that are variants, they kind of look alike. You know what I'm saying? Most of those Lokis were pretty much alike. There was a few.
There's a lot that looks different, though.
Yeah, the old man Loki, Sylvie,
Kid Loki.
Kid Loki and the War Loki, right?
Yeah,
But
War
then
Loki, and then there's a couple other ones too. Like when
oh,
yeah.
because I thought everybody else was just Tom Hiddleston in different disguises or whatever,
Yeah, there was
or
a
different.
bunch of other variants. I think there's
Oh,
more ones that look different that we saw in Loki that looks like him actually.
well then, fair enough. Okay. Well, I still think that John Krasinski is going to be our Mr. Fantastic. I think that's set in stone, in my opinion. And then we go from there. But hopefully, we get a Fantastic Four done correctly. And with it being inside of Marvel now, they have the rights to it and everything like that. I think it will be. Um, do we get Doom as the first villain? Obviously, because wasn't Doom the he was there when they got their powers in in most comic runs, right?
Yes and no, kind of, not really. it
So
really
that's
depends on what you read, man.
yeah, so that's why I'm wondering. I'm like, so I don't know if maybe they don't make him the quote unquote villain or antagonist for the first movie, but he might be in the movie. He gains powers and he has his own little, you know, storyline underneath, and then in the second movie or so forth, then he becomes the antagonist, which I'll be fine with. But I'm wondering, what do you do as far as like the villain or whatever for this movie?
Yeah. I mean, fuck it. Just make it Doom, get Doom out of the way because we know it ends with Secret Wars and who rules Secret Wars? Fucking Doom.
Fair enough.
Rob, I'm with you, dude. Hickman's Fantastic Four is one of the best comic runs across any comic medium fucking period.
Hmm.
Sherwin, who do I want to play Doom? Cillian Murphy. He is either him or Fassbender. Either one of them. I need one of them to be my Doom. They are the only two people that I will accept. Again, in Feige we trust. I'm sure they'll cast someone amazing, but I want it to be Cillian Murphy or Fassbender. I know he's Magneto. I know he is, and I know like he'll probably be like a variant of Magneto if he shows up in the MCU, but I would love it if they switch it up because I think he has everything needed to be Doom. But so does Cillian Murphy, so I'll take that shit. I would fucking
Uh,
love that.
I'll take Ewan McGregor for Doom.
Ooh,
I'll take that.
nice. But Vash, what are your thoughts on Fantastic Four kicking off Phase 6?
Other than that, I'm excited. Phase 6 starts with a 4. Is the first family of the Marvel comics. I still stand by this. I want Chris Evans to be Johnny Storm once again. You cannot bring him as Cap. Cool, Johnny Storm. Our boy could be Flame On. I'm like, I fuck with Chris Evans at Fantastic Four. I still watch the OG 2001 2004 movie that came at that time. I do not watch the Rise of Silver Surfer because that one was actually bad. The first one is actually still passable and to be detained by.
It's decent.
Yeah, like get high, drunk, however you want to get by detained by film. But me, just get high enough and you be thinking that film is like a 10 out of 10. You'll be like, yo, this shit's Oscar worthy. And then I think it's so be like, nah, it should whack. But still, I wanted to see Johnny Storm played by Chris Evans again overall. And I'm excited for what they do with this cast. Look, John Krasinski, if he happens again to be it, awesome. If not, I hope they know what they're doing. I also say the actor Roy Kalui. He's the actor in iZombie. I think I pronounced his name wrong or right. I'm not sure.
I've never seen
But
iZombie, so I don't know.
he's a co-star for iZombie. He's very good. He literally looks at him. There has been some fan casting for him as well. Not sure if as big.
Okay. I love this guy.
Yeah, he's in a few projects or in Netflix as well.
Yeah,
Um,
he's in Bly Manor and Midnight Mass. He's amazing in
yes,
those series. Holy
Mm.
fuck.
Okay, I know what you're
yeah.
talking about now.
So a lot of people has fan cast him as well for the series. I mean, as the character of Reed Richards. I was sending it to
I'd
the
buy
group
that.
chat. I'll send it to the group chat how he looks, and I feel like he could play that role. A lot of people have asked him if he has been cast. He's been so because like, oh, Marvel hasn't told me anything. Wait, I should not be saying that. So stuff like that, like he knows how to play with the marketing, with the game, and also like Sam Liu has done it before. He literally has said, "Oh, Shang-Chi, I don't know," and then boom, a year or two later, he has a movie. So who knows? Like at the end of the day, I'm excited. Can't wait to see what they do. And Kevin Feige knows if he fucks this up, my guy, that's 3 times. So just best of luck. That's all.
So these last two, we're going to combine these and just talk about our overall hype about these last two. But the last two announcements that Kevin Feige talked about at the Marvel panel that will round out Phase 6. Avengers, The Kang Dynasty, directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, the Shang-Chi director. That's going to be released on May 5th, 2025. And then Avengers Secret Wars will be released on November 8th, 2025. So this is the first time we're getting 2 Avengers movies in the same year, like 6 months apart. I am ecstatic about these 2 Avengers movies. I cannot fucking wait. I've been telling people, be patient. I know it may seem to you like Phase 4 seems directionless, but there is a direction. We are clearly headed towards Secret Wars, clearly towards the Multiverse Saga. What was the announcement? Secret Wars fucking Multiverse Saga. That's clearly where we were headed. It's just pay attention. The Infinity Saga took 4 years before we found out that Thanos was the main antagonist of the saga. It took 4 years before we figured out where the MCU was going. Relax. Relax. Yeah. We know where it's going now. It's going to take time to build to it, just like it did the first time. It's an entirely new saga. It can't be done in 2 years. You have to take your time, flesh it out, and it's going to be fucking amazing. I love that we're going to get the Kang Dynasty. This already tells me that this film is going to end with a bunch of Kangs, a bunch of different versions of Kangs kicking off the multiversal war that will be ended in Secret Wars. I definitely think that Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars are going to be, they're going to feel like 2-parters, much like Infinity War and Endgame, where Kang Dynasty will be the official beginning of the multiversal war, and then Secret Wars will be the climax and the end of it. So I am beyond extremely excited for these 2 films. The Russo brothers have always talked about, we will come back to do an Avengers movie if it's Secret Wars, but Kevin Feige has said he's going in a different direction for both of these films. So, Vash, starting with you, what's your excitement level for Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars?
I just want to say, fuck anybody that literally said that there's no clear direction towards Phase 4, Phase 5, and Phase 6. Because people, I literally told my friend the days before the Comic-Con panel came out, I told him, like, because me and him were on the phone, he's like, yeah, damn, bro, I don't know where, Phase 4 is going. Like, look, bro, Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, think of them of a Season 1 and Season 2 and the Season 3 of Book 1 being closed. That was the Infinity Saga. That was the lead up from Phase 1 to Phase 3, the Infinity Saga. Phase 4, did we know what was going on in Phase 1 that was going to lead up to Phase 3? No. We started to find out in Phase 2 what was Phase 3 going to lead up to. Guess what? Phase 4 is about to wrap up. So that means in Phase 5, we're about to find out what's going on. Comic-Con happened. They said, guys, let's just tell them, because the timeline on Twitter and Reddit, people keep saying we have no direction. Guess what? Slap on the wall, and they said, bitches, say that one more time. They literally had it on the face. Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, the Incursion. It literally was 2-hour faces, and people like us, people like other content creators that know what the hell we're saying, or at least have some concept and idea, we told you your face. It's a multiverse story. It's a sequel. So there's more to it. And literally, guess what? They literally called it the Multiverse Saga. It's literally slapped to the name. It's right there. Great for marketing. If people know, Blu-ray on Amazon, you can literally buy Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3 in a book set, like a Blu-ray DVD set, and it's called Infinity Saga. Same thing's going to happen. Guess what? We told you this months ago. We're telling us now. And you know why I'm telling you this? To repeat myself, because you got to be sharing this to your grandma, to your cousins, to your abuela, to your uncle and grandma, because we're spitting you facts, knowledge of why we should be your source news of content. Because Kang Dynasty, fuck yeah, because it's called Kang War in the comics. Kang Dynasty, I fuck with the name. That's a dope shirt, Kang Dynasty, because You could also call the C4S Dynasty. That's it. Look at that. Like, just come up with new names coming out with these movies. And also Secret Wars. I don't know why, but my timeline, people were mad that they're going to make a movie of the Secret Wars. And people are thinking with the whole misdirection of Secret Wars coming. No, they're going to adapt it. But have they ever really adapted from the comics runs? No, they have taken chapters or ideas and concepts is what they always have done, and then adapted to what it is to the stories of the movies, and that's what we're getting. So if the Secret Wars is not the same from the comics, guess what? You're gonna still watch and still be entertained by it. And if you're gonna get mad and put it on timeline and put it on Reddit as always you do. Because Captain America Civil War was not like what it is in the comics. Hell no, not even close. Probably threads. But with what it is currently going on right now, it's possible with the sequels and Kang Wars. They have more of the characters and more of the staff and people. And good luck to them to do what they did in Infinity War and Endgame. Because now you're going to put 2 movies out in 1 year. It might change, but still, 2 movies of those were back-to-back a year, like Infinity War and Endgame. So don't ever speak out when a studio that already has been doing this for 10 plus years and made 3 phases. They literally made a whole continuity that has never been done before, other than Star Wars. But Star Wars has been doing it
not on this
spreadily. Non-disco. Thank you, James. So MCU is doing something right. So don't say that you don't say, in Feige we trust. That's literally a thing that's been going on for years. So the multiverse saga finally got confirmed. So what's the next saga going to be? Phase 7, Phase 8, 9? You better not say, where are we going? There's no clear direction. Hold your horses, my guy. That's book 3. This right now, we're in book 2, and it finally got confirmed. So, Steve, what are your thoughts about this? Because
real quick. It's just we're spoiled. So it's just like when the MCU began, like you said, Vash, we didn't have anything like it. So there was nothing really to compare it to. We didn't have a cinematic universe of anything that led to anything. So it's like, okay, we don't know where it's going, so that's how it leads to that. But now we're just fucking spoiled. We're like 36, 37 MCU's properties in. We're 14 years in, and people are just spoiled. And it's just like, I don't see how you can look at everything that we've seen. You've seen Loki. You've seen No Way Home. You've also seen Multiverse of Madness. What the fuck else do you need to know that we're headed towards a multiversal story? So, Steve, I'll kick it to you. What's your excitement level for Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars?
The same, the same rant that y'all are on too. Like, people were saying Phase 4 sucked and stuff like that. I'm like, the movies that y'all didn't like in Phase 4 was like Eternals, Black Widow, and then this last Thor movie.
Yeah.
Other than that, you loved everything else of Phase 4. So what the fuck are y'all talking about? But they're just complaining just to complain at that point of they didn't like the phase. I'm like, you named like 3. There's literally like 3 movies that go in rotation of what you didn't like. So out of all of those properties, 3 things, come on, dude. But anyway, my excitement for Avengers and the Kang Dynasty, aka the Council of Ricks. I'm excited for that. I'm just excited to just see Jonathan Majors. Like, he's really, really going to be getting his flowers. And as we build up to this, it's just going to be like, yo, what the fuck? So that's going to be fire. Then Secret Wars, we're building up to that. Fantastic Four, like we talked about. Doom's got his hands all over that. Secret Wars is just going to be crazy. They're talking about, I don't know I'm pretty sure they're just rumors, but they're talking about Tobey Maguire and Professor X will come back and all sorts of crazy shit that I'm seeing. And I'm just
Secret
like,
Wars, dude.
Yeah, so they're like, we're going to pull Andrew Garfield, we're going to pull Tobey Maguire, we're going to pull Professor X. And I'm just like,
McAvoy, Fassbender, McKellen, you got to bring them all, dude.
Gonna be in there for 2 seconds. Like, hey, bye.
Logan,
hey, bye.
Let's go. Logan, Wolverine, Hugh Jackman. Let's go.
If they pull Hugh Jackman in for this,
and the yellow and blue suit too,
dude,
or the brown suit.
Hugh Jackman is going to be in Deadpool 3. I'm calling it. Hugh Jackman has a huge friendship with Sean Levy.
And Ryan Reynolds.
That's how Ryan Reynolds met Sean Levy. And Deadpool 3 is going to be the third film that him and Ryan have done together. All three of them are friends. There is no fucking way on this planet that not at least a cameo, even if it's 2 minutes, Hugh Jackman's going to be in this movie. I'm fucking calling it. Hugh Jackman's in Deadpool 3. But Steve, continue on your thoughts on these two movies.
I'm excited for that.
Right.
But yeah, like I'm just excited just because I've read a little bit on Secret Wars and stuff like that, so I'm excited to see how they're going to do all of this. I'm wondering all of these things, how they're all going to tie together to form Secret Wars and stuff like that, because all these properties have been fired. They've been like the announcement and stuff like that. It's like I'm excited. I'm kind of excited, but I'm just thinking about how it's all going to come together at Secret Wars, and that's what I'm really, really looking forward to. So like just all of these other properties that they named, they're built together, and then not to mention San Diego Comic-Con will be happening in 2023. You know what I'm saying? So They're going to be more stuff because, yeah, they talked about it, but those things aren't coming out till 2025. You know what I'm saying? And they're saying they're 6 months apart. I'm not sure if 6 months apart was something that took place for Infinity War. And I know
they were a full year apart.
A full year. Okay. I knew they were like at the next year, but I didn't know if like it was like end of the year, beginning of the year or something like that. But yeah, 6 months apart, it's like that's crazy to go from Kang to Secret Wars. It's like, man, like if I'm Tony Stark, I'm like, I'm glad I did this. Like because I don't want to have to deal with Kang and fucking what's gonna happen in Secret Wars with Doctor Doom.
I mean, it makes sense, right? The very first multiversal war started with Kang variants, right? Mm-hmm. It's only fitting that the multiverse saga ends with Kang variants that started the multiversal war. So it's going to be dope. D23 is September 9th through the 12th. So we'll get a lot more information on a lot of these different projects. So, I mean, we're going to learn a lot more in D23. Like you said, Steve, we're going to learn a lot more in Comic-Con next year as well. We're going to get a lot more information on Phase 6. So it's like, just patience, guys. It's coming. Again, I know we're spoiled. 14 years, 37, 38 projects, whatever it is. I know we're spoiled. But it's just like it took 4 years before we even saw Thanos smile. All he did was turn to the camera and smile. It took 4 years to get that, right? And I was like, oh shit, this saga is about Thanos. It took 4 years. Be patient. It's going to be okay. But that is going to be it for our Comic-Con recap of everything Marvel and DC that was announced. We broke down everything for the rest of Phase 4, the entire Phase 5 timeline, and everything we know about Phase 6 so far. This was a lot of fucking fun. We're going to be eating as comic book fans. There's so much great shit coming out. You know, even though the Marvel panel completely blew away the DC panel, I am still very excited for Black Adam. I know that audiences loved the first Shazam movie. I know I'm in the minority. I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that, but people are going to be raving about Shazam too. So it's a great time to be a comic book fan. We're getting so much more shows, so many more things to expand the multiverse and how all of that stuff is going to collide when the multiverse saga ends. I'm just so fucking excited to see where it all goes. So Steve, any final thoughts? And if not, tell the people where they can find you online.
No final thoughts. We've talked long enough.
Yes.
I am Scuba Steve 1428 on all social media. Follow the Inside the Mind of Blur page, which is the Blur Mind Pod. Follow the link tree. It'll lead you to everybody. I just thought about this. I need to add Rob J to the link tree. Shout out to Rob J in the comments. He is also an Inside It Mob member. Bro. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Vash, any final thoughts? And give us your plugs.
I'm about to say what final thoughts. I said all my thoughts. Right? I said the multiverse saga. Like, yo, you did not know? How about you? If you didn't know, come and watch us. Enjoy our content. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow our content, Twitter, the website, everywhere you do. And we appreciate everyone. A big shout out to Rob, Brown, everyone here in the chat. Thank you for being here. Alvis, everyone here on the chat. We appreciate you for being here and commenting and letting your thoughts. after the VOD, after the live stream, let us know what's your favorite thing coming out phase 5 and phase 6 in the future. So let us know what are you excited for and what's your favorite out of phase 4 that we're coming to the end of it, because we want to know your thoughts so we can respond back to you and have a conversation after the stream ends too, because this is how we build our repertoire with the community. So we appreciate that, everyone. And you can follow me at Legend Vash everywhere else. Go check the handles down below the description, the whole shebang.
Yeah. You guys can follow me all over social media at JB Exclusive. Like Vash said, you want to find absolutely everything we do at Careful for Spoilers, go to carefulforspoilers.com. You'll find links to all of the podcasts on the network, the merch store, the Patreon. We got articles. Steve is an official writer for C4S. So is Chris Conkling, that was in chat earlier. They're writing content on the website every single month. I'm writing stuff on there as well. So we got a lot of content on the website. Like I mentioned before, if you want to see the full Phase 5 breakdown in article format, I have it all on the website for you guys. So everything that we talked about, you can get it all in one digestible spot on the website. Chat, I appreciate you guys so much. You have no idea. Like, I am not the biggest fan of doing live shows, if I'm being honest, but I like doing it because I get to interact with you guys. No bullshit. Like, I like doing it because we can have these conversations and just fucking geek out about Hickman and talking about his Secret Wars and his Fantastic Four run. Like, that's why I love doing this show live, getting to talk to every single one of you guys. So I appreciate you being here with us. We've been streaming for 3.5 fucking hours breaking this shit down. So I appreciate, again, every single one of you guys for showing up and for being here. But until the next episode of Villains, we will see you guys on the next one.
Mm-hmm.